probably wonder where the hell we're at. Hey, by the way, huh?
Yeah.
I got the new glasses
Plus,
today.
your frames look awesome.
Oh, do you think?
Yeah.
Ooh, Dalton Castle. I love him.
I'm not sure. Our camera, look how large and in charge the Mac looks in our frame.
You've been having a good time till Mackery do. I love the way you're not going to move the camera, move the whole dadgum thing.
That's right.
Bo, don't ruin the episode like you're coughing.
That's my job. That's what I was put here for.
Ooh, Amiga game sales chart database update. What do you know of this?
Hey, Retro Man Cave. How's it going, man? I feel like
Cave.
We're going to be messing around with the audio here to try and make it.
Retro, I saw your episode on the Commodore game machine. Have you seen that one, the Commodore, the console?
No, the C64C, isn't that what that's
I don't
called?
know. It's a C something, but it was pretty. Admittedly, I was in extensive pain as I watched it, but I did enjoy it.
That's the best time to watch YouTube.
I'd like to get me one of those.
C64GS.
Yeah, they're absolutely worthless.
That was not released here, right? Only in England.
Yeah,
or only in Europe.
You can't get them
something
here.
like that.
Yeah.
How are you, Michael?
Oh boy, I have to read over that.
Retro Man Cave, do you have? I think we talked about this before. Do you have one of those Hit B, Hit Boy? I think Hit B or Hit Boy. They're the Sony MSX clones.
He doesn't have one, as I recall.
I couldn't remember if we talked about that last week or not. Hey, Neville.
Looks like Dreamcatcher's got a couple up this week.
Yeah, the Hit Bit. That's right. Retro. Hey, Andy.
Did we talk about this last week? PL Gold?
No.
I think we missed that. That's right. You skipped all that stuff, didn't you? You skipped a ton of stuff last week, didn't you?
Yeah, we didn't do any side updates. I fired up the Mac and I played my favorite pinball game of all time.
I saw the pictures.
So, even if I don't play anything else on there, it's going to be worth it just for that.
Even just beat down as you are, you're still in here playing pinball.
We're covering Manic Miner on our Sinclair. Pretty obscure title. And what's the other one? Chuck Rock 2.
In America, it's the super obscure title.
That's true.
I've got something to say about that, too. I think there's a culture shock involved in that game. My God, this is like a walkthrough here that Dreamcatcher did.
Hey, Pixels. Hey, Picard.
Sorry we're late, guys. I got stuck in traffic.
You're not as late as I thought you'd be. I sent out the Twitter that said that we were starting at 6, so we're ahead of schedule.
Since we missed this one last week, I'm just going to glaze over this one, and we'll go right to the new one.
All right. Yeah.
Because I want to read this, and it's long, and I don't want to sit here and say, because I didn't know this. I missed that one last week. I don't want to sit here and give a disservice to it by trying to pretend I know what the heck it says. This stuff's too good. We ought to interview him sometime. You think he'd ever come on?
Dreamcatcher?
Yeah.
I mean, now he won't show his face.
Yeah, but he's doing audio. We could do the podcast. We could just put up a caricature of him.
What would we talk about?
I'd like to know how he writes his stuff, his methodology.
I think you should totally interview Dreamcatcher.
Well, you don't want to interview him?
I've done my share of interviews. It's time for you to pick up the slack.
Hey, I wanted to interview a guy. I just never returned my many attempts. All right.
Is the volume loud? Is it better, guys? I could. We're also not talking at normal show volume. We don't normally start screaming until we kick things off. Hey, everybody! God, oh my body. Yeah, there won't be much of that. I can tell you that.
Man, Koji Kateo passed away. big sumo star from back in the day. He went into pro wrestling as well. That's another one. What are you gonna do?
Do you think that the average lifespan of a sumo guy is longer or shorter than a pro wrestler?
Well, a lot of the big sumos go into pro wrestling, so it's hard to say. So we're doing Sinclair first. So?
Yeah.
Excellent. You got any feedback? I think you go over.
Nope. We're just gonna go. We're gonna have our normal banter, and oh yeah, we got some feedback.
Oh, good.
Yeah, it's all good.
Because most of this is just I'm just gonna basically talk about my game, what I thought of the game, and a few comments on the author.
That's right, Pixels. I'm going straight Maynard G. Krebs on this bad boy.
How's everybody doing today? Hooah! Hooah! It's gonna be awesome. Big weekend, right? Of recovery.
Yeah.
We've both been violently murdered this week. So both Scott, what is it you've got?
I've got a respiratory infection.
Is that can I get that?
No, it's not contagious.
So no kissing.
Well, not this week.
And then I've had a severe neck strain for
is that contagious?
most of the week. Listen.
Depends on how annoying I am when you give me
I thought you were my only pain in the neck, but clearly I have earned more. So we've been... What's up, Riggy? We've been trying to recover. Hey, you recognize this shirt from the...
yeah, man.
Hey, the unboxing. It's making a comeback.
It is.
I told you.
When my student teacher said that he saw... That was the one video he spoke to me about.
When that thing hits 100, I demand we do another one. Just on the basis of... Just when you hit triple digits. That's how we base our success. We hit 100, you're in.
That's right. Are you still getting the wrestling crates?
No,
still not selling.
But I know where I can buy them off the shelf.
Right,
like different crazy crates.
Probably not for $30.
No, they've got retro video game crates and stuff. We can try one of those.
Yeah, man. Whatever you want to do.
If I get a deal, I'll work at Angle. Yeah. It's canceled. Retro. I can tell you that right now. However, I'll still wear the t-shirts. I don't care. Any shirt that fits. That's my motto. You gotta have some tinker time. You should put, just like we do, put your logo right there. Just a picture of you going, ah.
Well, the thing about the blue that's great is that it's got like a built-in like cut before it starts to like overload. But the blue, because it's fine-tuned, it's a more expensive mic. It gives you those manual controls, but I want the automatic controls. The blue is better at that sort of thing. You
should see how I've got the USB cable into this thing. Rubber band. Ooh. Rubber band man. And the logo in the front has just enough gap in it to where I can lay the rubber band in there so it won't slip off.
I love that song. Get into the bath, wash yourself, it's the Rubber Man. Starts to change.
That's a good song.
Yeah.
Who did that one? Do you remember?
Oh, boy. It was a one-hit wonder. It wasn't somebody, yeah.
What'd you think of that article on those guys in Japan collecting albums?
Oh, I'd seen that
video.
That's a very famous video.
It?
Yeah.
Is it? I think I had $100,000 speakers.
And No Girlfriend. What a surprise!
I like the fact that he couldn't open his refrigerator.
Right.
That is a love of albums that is unknown to anyone.
And when I worked at the record store in college, we could sell any record for 30% more if it came with an obi strip. You know what that is?
Nope.
So in Japan, they sell records with a piece of paper taped around the thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's called an obi strip. It's got Japanese characters on it. It's basically like the Japanese words of whatever the American album title is. People just assume the Japanese pressings were mastered better.
They probably weren't wrong.
No, I'm gonna have to get some water though.
You don't have a drink down here?
I only got coffee. It's not enough.
Coffee? That's not good for an irritated throat.
It's not. It's the worst thing you can possibly drink.
Are you sleepy?
No.
No, well. Anyway, it's gonna be a good time. I can't look over there and but be coughing the whole show. Stay tuned. It's gonna be great. All right. Did you get it? Yeah. Poor guy. He had to cancel his trip, guys. It's sad. I feel bad for him. I guess you won't be golfing at that links course next.
Nope. There's nothing good in my future. Everything.
Well,
I
I
look
mean,
forward
that's
to
a horrible
is
thing.
dead.
That's you didn't have to pay the money, all right?
No. I'll hopefully get.
Did you guys have a hotel reservations and
No,
the
we were
like?
going to stay with my buddy. So.
Just you can reschedule.
Yeah, we'll probably go back in the summer.
Did you miss any school?
No.
There you go.
Yeah, it's all good. In fact, what I should have done. Get ready for a long and boring story. So we do a fundraiser every year. We sell candles, right?
Who does?
The band.
Okay.
And the only days I cannot take off during the school year are the days when we collect the money, because otherwise the kids are bringing in money and there's nothing. There's no way to collect it. And we bring in money.
Can't you fund the stooge to get it for you?
So no.
Okay.
So instead of just calling off when I immediately felt sick like I normally would, I had to go in, and I was there just miserable, just collecting the money. Then I had to count all the money. Then I had to tally all the forms. And this is why I'm not going to San Diego.
What up, lunch? That's what it was?
However, we did bring in big money.
Big candle, band candle.
Big band
What's that,
candle
for
money.
$800, something like that?
$13,000.
Man, we need to be in the candle business.
So, yeah, we need to be in the fundraiser business, because really, the man upstairs...
Aren't we already in that business? Am I losing this weight for nothing?
Yeah, but you are technically losing the weight for nothing.
No,
it's
I'm not.
Charity.
Yeah, but I mean, that's fundraising, right?
Yeah.
That's what the band is. It's a charity, right?
Yeah, but I mean, like, the band will see the benefits of this stuff. Like, we're getting new equipment.
What's up, Henrik?
And stuff like that. Of course, you're going to get a brand new wardrobe, so I guess you'll see the benefits.
Yeah.
When you come in your new suit, shark skin...
Where am I going to get this wardrobe? Someone's buying me a sharkskin suit?
Hey man, if you meet your goal, I'll buy you a sharkskin suit.
I don't know if I want that. Does it still have the fins on it?
Maybe it's
I could be like
maybe
Shark
an
Boy.
option. Yeah. Is Shark Boy a thing?
Yeah, he's a wrestler. I met him. He's a nice guy.
Is he friends with Rusty Shanks?
No, different states. No one knows who Rusty Shanks is. So.
I can't believe that. He works out of this state. I mean, he works probably up in Ohio sometimes.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm saying Rusty Shanks could be Shark Boy for all I know. I don't know.
Like a Mankind Cactus Jack situation.
Hey, is that package for Amigos or for Sinclair? Do you know?
I'm glad you said that. This one is for our Sinclair.
So we got 2 packages?
Yeah, we get tons of packages.
We do? How many do I see of that? What percentage?
Less than 1%.
Do you have the memory stick ready to go to open this thing?
I do. So ready to go.
What order you want to do this in?
Well, we'll do mailbag right off the bat.
But I mean, you were doing Sinclair,
Yeah.
mailbag. So we're gonna do this first.
No. Mailbag is not going to be a separate video.
Right, I'm saying, but we're doing my Sinclair, and then you're gonna open it up with a mail. You're going about our feedback,
Right?
And then we're gonna do the game,
Right?
And then we're gonna do that,
Right?
And then
no, that's what this is. Mailbag is this.
Oh, so mailbag's not feedback.
No, we'll do mailbag, feedback, then the game, then the user reviews.
I'll tell you what, you just point and go.
That's what I do every single week.
Speak, dummy.
Okay.
And be as coarse as usual. Otherwise, people are gonna think you're really sick.
Here we go.
And press play. Oh, sorry.
I've got that written down right there, so I don't forget what that is. Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Sinclair. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about Manic Minor. Aaron, what's the most manic you've ever been?
Well, when I used to work at the factory, we would take a bunch of mini thins.
I don't know what that means.
That's basically legal speed.
Okay. Are these like the yellow jackets they sell?
They're
over
little
at the
tiny
Speedway?
white pills. And then you'd load up on these, you down a couple Mountain Dews or whatever your caffeine of choice was, and then it was ready for 10 hours of working on a conveyor belt. Nonstop. It was crazy. And you could look. I remember because I used to run a cell that made these things. And I'd look over, survey my slide line where they were putting the parts in these things, and they'd be going like this, putting these parts in. And when there was no card in front of them, they would sit there like this.
Wow.
You know, they were ready to go. They were idling like a car.
Were you paid by the piece?
Well, it was good if you put out more. If you didn't put out enough, management would be cross with you.
I see. So management tacitly encouraged the use of illegal.
Well, they didn't drug test. This was legal. So, but I mean, people were on other stuff, I'm sure. But yes, they probably were down with the clown on the whole on that whole situation. Now, the bad part of being manic is that you're going like this and putting stuff in the cards, and then the cards run through a solder machine, and I would look at the card. and there'd be connectors in backwards. They'd be on the wrong side of the card. Someone have a paper clip stuck in there.
So the speed does not always translate
Not always,
to the accuracy.
no.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the cell I ran was the cell that tested these cards, and so it was pretty obvious. If he puts connector in backwards, then we got a problem, and it's a ton of extra work. So, but that's Manic for you.
Yeah, well, I cannot beat that story. So we're going to move on to our feedback section. And by feedback, I actually mean mailbag.
Okay.
We got a package, Aaron. A nice blue box.
That is nice.
This looks like it's the portal symbol.
It looks like one of those seeing eye things. If you looked at it long enough, like you'd see a witch or a dog.
Eye,
Yeah, that's right.
What they're called. Yeah. This comes from a guy we know.
Yeah, I assumed it would be a guy of some sort.
Yeah. Paul. We call him Boss Man. Paul Harrington.
Oh, Paul Harrington. We know
Right.
him. I've heard of him.
He has sent us. This came in a box eerily similar to the wrestling crate box.
Yeah. Maybe that's what's in there. Hopefully it better selects the t-shirts.
Aaron, this one, I can tell from the size that this one is supposed to be for you.
Oh, it does have t-shirts in it. I was just joking.
What is on that t-shirt?
Oh. What is it? Thanatok. The dragon. That's awesome. Look at that.
That looks cool.
I'll be wearing the crap out of that. Thank you, Paul.
Thanatok. That's an awesome dragon name, too.
It looks eerily similar to the dragon that Lionheart jumped on when he rode off.
Yeah, it does. Okay.
Awesome. Thanks, dude.
And Paul has
wearing that with my newly affected weight loss.
Paul has purchased for me. Look at this.
Oh, that's nice.
Look at this. That's right.
Now what we're going to do is leave you running all night, and then wait till the smoke pours out your ears, and it'll be
just like real life.
Thank
you, Paul, for this awesome Spectrum keyboard t-shirt. I will wear this and meet the blank looks that I get with glee and mirth.
Yeah. Ain't nobody getting that. The first person that walks up to you and says, "Hey, it's Sinclair," sign him up. He's on the show.
That's right. I'm going to put this on right now. Break my glasses.
That's good, Bo.
You ever do horrible things with your glasses, trying to put shirts on over top of them?
Well,
that's one of my main.
Normally,
moves.
I don't do. Look at that. Fits like it's glove.
Yeah, it does. I'm ready now.
Shut down.
Type away.
Shut down.
And we got this card. Oh.
Whoa, it even matches the box. That's
Paul
better than
knows
Wrestle
what's up.
Crate.
Paul says, "Hope you like them, guys. The 48K was my first ever computer, and the first game I remember playing was Countabout, an educational game. My brother Mark remade the Thanatos logo so I could have one as a birthday gift a few years back."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Cheers, Paul Bossman Harrington.
I love it. Boss Man. What a name.
He runs the show, man.
And it's funny, I've just been watching a recap video of some old wrestling, and it's the feud between Boss Man, the big Boss Man, and Nails. You remember Nails?
No.
The convict that came to get Boss Man.
Really? Because
Yeah.
Bossman was a prison guard, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So
After,
Paul better be on the lookout for a guy in an orange jumpsuit.
watch out, Paul.
Yeah.
Aaron, we also got some feedback from last week's show. Last week we talked about Chase HQ.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Andy Stevenson says, "The trick is to keep your turbos until you find the bad guy. I, for one, forgot I had turbos most of the time."
You did. How could you forget that? I used them all the time because I would hit stuff.
He says, "Then on a straight, only use the turbos and smash them. So you just got to use those turbos when you're smashing." He said, "Also, look at R-Type on the Spectrum. I have no idea how they managed it, especially as it's only 48K. It's a cracking conversion." So, thank you, Andy.
I'm sure that one's going to come up, Andy. I need all the help I can get. I gave Chase HQ another go this week. It's frustrating to me that I can get to that first guy, and it drives me bananas. I mean, I hit him like 1,000,000 times. I don't know what the trick is. Well, maybe saving my turbos is the way to go.
Yeah. We had quite a few responses to our favorite third-person racer community question. However, I've forgotten to record any of them on my notes this week. So
Coming soon.
Yeah. So we circle back around and pick those up. But there are a ton of third-person racing games on the Spectrum, so do not be alarmed.
Outstanding. I wonder if they're the quality of that one.
I don't think
That's
so.
going to be the key because that thing was smooth as silk, man.
Right. And our community question this week feel free to answer in whatever format you're listening to this to. Although YouTube comments are most appreciated because those are easiest for me to find. Was Manic Miner too hard, or are Americans just too soft?
I've got an opinion on that.
All right.
That dovetails nicely into what I'm going to talk about later.
Well, let's talk about this week's game, Aaron. This week's game, Manic Miner.
Now, before we dig too far into this, me and Brent, I think it was, played. I don't think it was you, but we played Jet Set Willie, and so I had played that, the sequel to this, much more than I'd actually played this. Now, I think I'd given this a go one time long ago, and gave up in about 10 seconds. Okay, so my goal this week was to last longer than 10 seconds, and I'll get into that in a moment. So, Manic Miner, first release boat in the glorious year of 1983.
I was 2.
Were you 2? Well, I was older.
I was just on the cusp of being potty trained. It was a glorious year.
Jeez, man. So, published by Bug Bite Software Limited in the UK, and apparently this thing got republished like 1 million times. And now, this was developed by a fellow named Matthew Smith. Now, again, we covered this fellow on ARG. If you want to go back and listen to the Jet Set Willie episode, this is an interesting cat. So, he's not credited with a lot of games. He did a game called Andre's Night Off. He did a game that was never released called Attack of the Mutant Zombie Flesh-Eating Chicken from Mars.
Oh my gosh, what a title.
He did this game that we're covering today, did Jet Set Willie and Styx. All right?
That's about the band, right?
Who knows? So, and I remember reading in an interview from this guy, he said, listen, he made, I think it was, he took 6 weeks, I think it was, to make Manic Miner. He said it was a delight. And he said, when he did the sequel, Jet Set Willie, it was like 6 months of pure hell, I believe is the way he wrote it. And so he developed quite a reputation from these games. Clearly, 2 of the finer and more popular games on the system. And so he ended up signing up, and it was supposed to be a big deal. And really, a lot of his projects just sort of tailed off. They never got finished, or they took too long. And so this guy became like a recluse, basically. And he went to, like, I believe it was Holland. And he joined a monastery or something weird, like a hippie.
Like a
commune.
Yeah.
That's what it was. And he was gone for like years, and I think he was in Holland until like he couldn't stay any longer. And he went back to the UK, and he was stunned that people knew who he was, and they were like, "It's that guy," you know. And so he sort of had a second life, and he went on, you know, and he's actually working now. He's working on in 2013, he was working on a new game with Elite Systems. He worked with a lot of mobile game places. He did documentary appearances and stuff. So after that time in the commune, he came back and was back in the spotlight, which is kind of neat. It's kind of a happy story,
Right.
For the guy. Having played this in Jet Set Willie, they're similar games. I think Jet Set Willie is amusing. They're very similar, but I probably would say I prefer this one. That's just me, but I'll explain why later. This thing was original to the Spectrum, and it got ported to everything on Earth. And I'll go through some of the list here. The Amiga, the Amstrad, CPC, the Beeb, the Commodore 16.
Right.
The C64, the Dragon, which means I could have played this on the Coco.
Oh, yeah.
In fact, there's a secret screen I read about on that one. The Game Boy Advance. How about that? The MSX, the Auric 1, the Sam Coupe, which I got more to say about that. Love the Sam, as you know. The Tatung Einstein. I never heard of that.
We need to investigate what that is.
The MTX, the PMD85, and the Xbox 360.
Towards the end, they just start making stuff up. Oh, yeah, the old PMD.
Man,
you know?
I have memories of the PMD85. So this was 48K, one player. You know, the original price on this lovely was right around £6, and it sold well.
Yeah.
Let's just put it that way. So, but we'll get into that later. So, let's talk about Manic Miner. Now, Smith himself says he was sort of inspired by the Atari 8-bit game Miner 2049er. Now, we both love that game.
Yes.
We've played it many times. We've mentioned it a zillion times. I will tell you that this bears, I mean, gameplay-wise, I guess there are some similarities, but this is like if you were making up a Miner 2049er and your entire goal was to make every life a living hell for every player. Mm-hmm. The first screen of this, which is called the Central Cavern. Now, I will say, I only played this on the Spectrum. I didn't look at the other versions.
I did, so I can talk a little bit about that later.
Oh, good. You didn't look at the Sam Coupe version.
I did.
Did you?
Yes.
That's outstanding. Good for you both. So, let's talk about this. It starts out in the Central Cavern, okay? And I played this. When we picked this, or when this got chosen, I loaded it up Sunday night, and we recorded on Friday, so it was a couple days, and here I go, and I'm playing this game, and I rage quit at least 4 times the first 2 days I played it, and it was all trying to get past the first screen. It's the most infuriating screen of all time. It is made. I got to give this guy Smith credit. He comes across as nice guys in a commune. He is a man with diabolical design genius. Mm-hmm. And I played the first level. I didn't have any save states. I'm using that crappy emulator. So I had to gut through, just like a proper player. And I guess we should elaborate. In this game, it's fairly simple. You are Willie the miner. You're going through these various stages to collect keys to leave the stage. Simple.
Right.
Once you collect all the keys, you navigate back down to a gate or doorway, and then you leave. All right? It's that, and then you go to the next room. Mm-hmm. It's that simple. Sounds simple. Now, along the way, you will encounter a variety of enemies. You will encounter, I saw seals. I saw what looked like polar bears. I saw some faces. I saw toilets. I saw, all sorts of bizarre, wacky stuff. And as you go through here, you'll also encounter traps, fall-away floors, spikes, weird, I don't know, prickly plants. I think they were.
I'm not sure if they were supposed to be spikes, and they, the Spectrum just, they could use green, or if they were supposed to be. I don't think it's spelled out in the documentation, but it'll kill you.
Yeah, it reminded me of the little plumpy things that'll kill you in Bruce Lee almost.
Right.
They looked like little weeds.
Yeah.
So, in the first screen of this, I just read someone in the chat that said they had no problem with the first screen. You're a better man than me, because I knew right away, just by looking at the way this thing was structured, oh boy, here we go. And I'm not going to go into depth-by-depth, screen-by-screen review, but I probably could now, and I'll get into that in a minute. So, on the first screen, you start off, you're going across, and you've got to go to the top. You've got to collect keys from the bottom of the screen all the way to the top, and you got to get up there by jumping over stuff and timing. Right. And so, the first thing you do, you've got to figure out how to get past a bad guy that's walking back and forth. We got to get past him. And then you've got to figure out the timing on it. Then you got to figure out how to get to the top of the screen. Then you got to figure out how to successfully get 2 keys with a spike in between them on the ceiling and the floor falling out. Mm-hmm. Then you've got to jump over 2 weeds.
And then you're done. You get that last key, and the next level starts immediately. Oh, wait a minute. No, it doesn't.
When I got that last key, and you didn't end the level, because I didn't realize you were having to go back to I was stunned.
Yeah, me too.
And then I instantly died because I was too shaken to continue.
That's right.
Now, everyone that has ever watched any show that I've been on knows that I've got a memory that's horrible.
It depends. You remember very selective things.
Well, I know this first screen, I could write a full picture of this, okay? I played this screen 4 million times, okay? I quit over and over. I would come back. And the time that I finally figured out, and what the hardest part of the screen, let me ask you, was that key that was hanging beside the spike.
Right, because you've got to catch it on your way down.
That's right. Mm-hmm. They say some games are pixel perfect jumps. This game that's the poster boy for that.
Right.
So you get off the first screen. I've never felt such accomplishment. Seriously, it was one of the biggest accomplishments to get off that first screen. And it hit me. And that's when it hit me. And what hit me was this is one of those games that I haven't played for so long, because there were games like this back in the day, and you became a master of them because you had no choice. All right. Now, before I continue, your thoughts, your initial thoughts, because had you played this before?
So I'd kind of fooled around with this and Jet Set Willy on the Atari. I haven't played the Spectrum version of Jet Set Willy yet. So I knew what to expect. I am not great even at the easy type games, like in this. Like, I'm not great at Miner 2049er. So in this, like you said, is like the ultimate, most difficult version you can imagine of that. I was not shy about using ye old save state,
Which I did not have the access to.
Yeah. As soon as I would figure out, okay, this is what I know I have to do now, it's just about doing it. I'd do it, bam, F3. Now, unfortunately, sometimes I'd get the hotkeys for save state and load state confused, and I'd bam, and I'd overwrite. Dang it. But even still, I could not get off the second level of this game.
Well,
I couldn't figure it out.
I kicked your tail. I'll tell you that. I ended up, once I got past the first level, I stayed up late playing this game, because this game is addictive as all hell. To hear me say that after that first 3 or 4 times of wanting to die, I played the hell out of this game this week. I got past the second and third screens relatively simply. The freezer, I believe, was the second one. I ended up getting to the 6th screen. And the only reason I had to quit that is because I had to come to work. I played it last night some more. So I figured the 6th screen, and I was incapacitated for a good chunk of the week. But I have a feeling that I could have gotten much further had I had more play time. But I didn't get as much as I'd hoped because my neck was so jacked up, and I couldn't stare at a screen for a long period of time. One of the screens in this, they're all so clever. You know, this is one of those games I heard about for years. I love when this happens, Bo. I've heard about this game for years. And I'm like, it's I don't think it's for me. Maybe it's something, maybe it's a culture thing. It's all crap. Some guy in the chat room earlier said that Americans can't get this game. You're right. You're absolutely right. This is not a game for Americans, normal Americans. They would not play this game. It's weird. It's goofy. It's got music that makes you want to stick a pitchfork in your own ear. Okay? Let's talk about the opening song. Right. I'm telling you, Smith was not screwing around. He put that in there because when the game ends, that's the first thing you hear, the off-tone garbage notes.
Do you know what that is?
That's Blue Dan? Is that the Blue Danube
by Strauss?
He put that in there for madness. Also, I want to meet the man. I want to shake the hand of the man that can finish this game without turning off that music.
Now, the music is quite an accomplishment in itself, being on the 48K. I was reading a little bit about how each individual note was programmed somehow as an interrupt to play in between the action in a very split-second level.
I believe I read it. This is the first game on the ZX that had in-game music. It's impressive. But the music is maddening.
Yes. Well, you quickly tire of it.
It could be great music. It didn't matter. I know, but you can't stop that opening screen. And when you die in this game, for those of you that haven't played it, you get the old Monty Python special where the miner gets smushed by a big shoe, right? And then that god-awful off-key music starts out. And it literally, this game will make you go insane.
Yeah.
I would get so mad. I must have heard the first note of that about 3 million times upon my death. But once you get into a groove and you understand the true evil that this game is, that's when you are in the zone. And also, you get used to dying. It's almost like playing Dragon's Lair. Okay, I got killed here. Let's go all the way back. And of course, since I didn't have save states, I was just like anyone that would have ever played this game. That means you go back through the first 4 levels, the first 5 levels. And, I mean, you get there, and then you know when you get back to that stage that you died on, you're going to die again. And you're going to go through all those levels again, and you're coming back to the same level, and you're going to die a third time. You might die 100 times. So that means you're going to play every level. And this is one of those games where just because you're good at a level or can beat a level, you can still die because it's so difficult. You know what I'm saying? You can still die on the first level. Oh, shoot, I accidentally pre-jumped and I hit the bush. It probably happened to you 100 times.
Yeah. You know, I disagree with your cultural assessment of this game. I don't think that Americans would necessarily be predisposed not to want to play this because it was too hard. I think that they'd be predisposed not to want to play it because at the time that this would have made an impact in the United States, we didn't. I'm not sure that, like, for example, this game came out in America on the micros, but the size of the micro user base was so small that it didn't make an impact.
Well, I'm not saying it's because it's just too hard. I think it's too goofy. Smith has his own interesting, wacky. I mean, it's a wacky game, right? The whole thing's wacky. I don't know if you noticed this, but you've got when your extra men are dancing at the bottom of the screen, and so I thought that was cute. I'd read that somewhere. Well, if you hit mute, they stop dancing, which I think that's funny.
Yeah,
it's goofy. The whole slant is goofy. Jet Set Willie's even goofier. I don't.
You know what game I compare this to the most is Donkey Kong. Because you're calculating the arc of your jump in the same sort of a way that you are in that game.
It is, but
you're memorizing patterns.
Really, if you want to, that's a good comparison. But I would even go a step further and say Donkey Kong 2,
okay,
which is the unofficial fan-made ROM. Mm-hmm. It's incredibly difficult, right? But this is harder, and this is much stranger. But I have to say, I have never turned. I was going to kill this game. I knew Sunday. I was like, I'm going to go in there and I'm going to kill this game. These people are all nuts. And thank God that I played it long enough for the switch to flip, and then I got it. I mean, listen, the controls are solid. And one thing I can say about the game was when I started playing it, I never felt like I was getting ripped off. Like when I died, it was my fault.
Right.
That's infuriating, but it's fair.
Yeah.
And when you succeed, I mean, it's been a long time since I did well at a game and felt this pleased that I did that well.
That happens to me quite frequently on this show. For example, when I passed that one event in Hypersports, the long horse for the first time,
right?
I jumped for joy.
Yeah. There's a level in this I want to mention. Like I said, I got to 6th, and I didn't want to watch videos of the higher levels because I didn't want to ruin them. Because this is definitely what I'm going to keep playing. But there's a level where you go all the way around the board picking up keys. And at the bottom of the screen, I think this might be the 5th level. At the bottom of the screen, there's 2 little chambers with keys in it. And then there's the door, the place you're going to leave is like a pit. All right? And then there's one more key you've got to get. And going up and then down the middle of the screen was this face. And so I would come all the way around, get the 2 keys, and get over and get the last key. Well, and I noticed whenever you get that last key, the face made a beeline for the door and stood there. Did you see this level? No. And so you couldn't leave. You got all the keys, but you couldn't leave. This big, stupid, grinning face was sitting there, and you wouldn't let you go. And then if you try to jump in, you're dead. Well, dummy, I was stunned. What do I do? Well, it was obvious once I thought about it. There's a key right beside the door. Just don't get that one. But this is the madness, the genius of this guy. He sets this stuff up, knowing what you will do. In terms of level design, and I didn't get this feeling in Jet Set Willie, and I have to go back and give that game another shot because I thought, man, this is too hard. I didn't get it. But the design in this is absolute. It may be the best level design I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that. Listen, I will never blow smoke about these machines. I try to be as straight as I can. So if I get excited about something, I'm legitimately excited. This might be the best level design I've ever seen in a game. I mean, it is outstanding. And I mean, if you want pure evil,
right?
Is it the best level design to encourage people to keep playing? No.
I will say that the colorful characters and just the sheer amount of different colors on the screen at one time was one thing that kept me playing. If I was playing the dragon version of this game, which was in black and white, or the Commodore 16 version, which I think was only like 3 colors. Just the sheer colorfulness of the boards was really, really pleasing.
Now, I read about some of these other versions without looking at them. I did read that the C16 wasn't very good, and I also read about the Dragon. You said you actually took a look at some of these. Which ones did you have a look at?
My 2 favorites, aside from the Spectrum is the best.
Is it really the best?
Well, it's the most iconic.
Okay.
It looks the most like it should. The Auric is very good.
The Auric?
Yeah, the Auric, which I think is a French computer.
Did you play that or just look at it?
No, I just looked at one of those port comparison videos on YouTube. So I was very pleased with the way that the Auric version looked.
What is it? What's different about that?
It looked the most similar to the Spectrum in terms of the amount of colors.
Okay.
The C64 had a lot of colors, but they were a lot more washed out. They don't have that neon look that the Spectrum has. And you're gonna love this, the Sam Coupe.
Now, see, I had read that it possibly had the best version, and it also has the most levels.
It's also got the best music because instead of getting that, it's got the backbeat. It sounds like freaking War is playing the Hall of the Mountain King. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
that's
very
awesome.
Cool.
Any final thoughts on this? You said you went to the second level, so did you? But you saw much more.
Yeah. So after I got to a point where I knew I would just be frustrated, and I did kind of feel guilty using the save states. I just watched a playthrough on YouTube, and I enjoyed watching the playthrough. It's like you said, the level design is ingenious. When you see how the levels are traversed, it makes total sense. It's totally logical. It's just finding those patterns, having the patience to find those patterns, and going back over and over again to the beginning and starting over again. So it's like I said, this is one of the all-time classics for the Specky, and rightfully so.
Now, I believe this has 20 stages, as I recall, which is just, it took me so long to get to 6. I'm now going to get to 20. This is a game, this game opened my eyes to some stuff, and not just because of the game, but just and you mentioned it, you were using save states or whatever. This is one of those games that modernizing it can ruin it.
Yeah, that's very true.
It could save it, too, depending on your ability to not want to die.
And your time commitment,
Right, but you really, to get good at this game, you have to die 1,000 times.
You're exactly right. And I think that was one of the reasons why I couldn't get past level 2, is because I hadn't put in the time getting good at level 1 yet.
And something, as I flipped through like I said, I didn't want to go level by level and look at these. I want to play all through the levels, but something else that Smith does is he mixes up the challenges a lot. Mm-hmm. Some boards have conveyor belts, some boards have these like moving like hurdles, and some boards have characters that walk around, and some things that will float. Sometimes there's spikes, and there's he uses disintegrating floors better than any game I've ever seen.
Oh yeah. The sheer
except for maybe like a Mario.
The sheer variety of challenge. We were talking about the Amiga game Power Glove the other day, which is another sort of platformy jump game.
Yeah.
And I mean, this is a game that was written in 1/100th of that amount of code, and the sheer amount of variety of challenges is so awesome.
Colorful, good looking. I mean, again, given the situation.
I did want to talk a little bit about some of the more modern versions of the games.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Where this game falls apart, any version that involves a scrolling screen where you can't see the whole screen.
They make those?
Yeah.
What are those on?
The DS is like that, and even some of the 16-bit computer versions are like that too. That's no good. If you can't see the whole level, the game becomes something different at that point, because part of the fun is seeing where all the keys are right off the bat. It's a hyper load runner situation.
Yeah.
When we talked about that.
Like there's one level where you start out, like it seems like you could just leave. I mean, you're ready to go. It's like, it's deceptive. You're going to be taking a tour. There is no cheap win in this game. I thought the second level was the easiest I played, and it wasn't easy either. It's just by that time I had caught on to some of his evil. I don't think I'd want to play this on anything else. I think I'm sure they could make a better version. I don't know. The Sam Coupe having a bunch of additional levels would be cool.
Might be worth checking out.
If he did them, that's something else. I don't think I want anyone else doing this because This is a special level of genius mixed with evil. And I will say something else. You can see why this was such a big seller, okay? Because every kid doesn't have every game on earth like we do now. You'd buy this up at the store, and then you could invest a lot of time in this, and you could play it and never master it, and still have challenge getting off the first or second levels because you could die at any point. Mm-hmm. I'm looking at these levels here as it goes. So these are levels that I'm familiar with. The chicken level here, and again, this one you have to master that falling floor, and you have to make a pixel perfect jump to get off the one platform to the top. That's what I liked about the game. So it's not an accident that it's written that way, and that's what makes it astounding. I can see where this guy's been heralded as a genius. I mean, it's very impressive. And I don't want to sit here and gush on it, but I had more fun and less fun with this game than I've ever had any game in my life.
Let's check in with our Discord community,
okay,
and see how they reviewed this game. Pixels at Dawn says a challenging platform game, or a puzzle really, with limited replayability that benefits from a tighter focus than its sprawling successor. Made infinitely better when you discover the music off key. However, even if in-game music, even in-game, I think what he meant to say was even in-game music was an achievement back then. Mm-hmm. Very true, very true. And I think the H key is the music off key.
Oh, it is. I can guarantee you.
Yeah. Discord people, proofread your reviews. I turn into the freaking Anchorman guy. I only read what's on the page. Chris Fold says fun visuals and controls let down by a near vertical difficulty level. I had this in the day and can never even get past level 1. Now I can get to level 3 or 4 if I'm lucky, but it's just crazy hard. Why make 20 levels if mere mortals can never see more than 4? I want to love it, but I can't.
Stick with it.
5 out of 10
no.
from Chris.
No, sorry, Folds.
Graham Vebke says, I totally understand all the nostalgia and that it's responsible for putting ZX Spectrums in many homes, but this is a very frustrating platform game. I can't get past level 4 and would rather invest my time into Chucky Egg than this game or Jet Set Willy for that matter. 5 out of 10.
Chucky Egg's good. We both love that. Mm-hmm. I like this one more. I'm telling you guys, you have to play it till it hurts, and then you will understand.
Pain is Manic Miner leaving the body.
That's right.
D-Man. This is his first review
All
since
right.
joining us, becoming a Patreon supporter. He says, Manic Miner is easy to pick up and extremely difficult to master, with pixel-perfect positioning and timing required to nail some of the jumps. Combining the gameplay with the quirky humor and the iconic in-game music cements Manic Miner's position in the pantheon of classic Spectrum games. 9.5 out of 10.
He's not wrong. I mean, this... Gosh, I can't wait. I think I like this more than Bruce Lee.
Wow. That's high praise indeed.
Well, you know me.
Yeah.
This game is hard to judge because it is brutal. But I mean, that's the game.
Right.
And people got to know that going in. I mean, this game's got a rep. And like I said, I got to go back and play Jet Set Willy because that was I was like those other guys. This is too hard. This is frustrating. People are looking at this as rose-tinted glasses. I have a feeling that the switch didn't click that time. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I can understand what people would say.
And we've got one more. Matthew Perron.
All right.
Chimes in from Montreal and says, great puzzle platformer game that is a great challenge and puts your sense of timing to great use. Mm-hmm. The looping music is the worst aspect of this game.
That's true.
I feel right at home since I played a lot of Blagger on the C64, which is essentially the same game. 7 out of 10. Have you heard of Blagger?
I'm not. Again, my C64 knowledge is relatively limited.
Yeah. And how about the magazines of the day, Aaron? How did they review?
Well, it was very... Let me just go over some of these awards, both. So get this. All right. This won the CNVG 1983 Golden Joystick Award. Mm-hmm. Third place, for Game of the Year. It was the winner of the Best Arcade Style Game that year. the magazines that I saw, I don't know if, I had trouble finding reviews for some magazines because the way they were listed. So I don't think I've got any magazine reviews. I know that sounds insane, but I looked. I couldn't find anything really. So I'm going to go ahead and give you a pass on that.
Okay.
I will say I looked this up on eBay. Of all the carts we've actually looked over, this was actually demanding. Oh, I did get a review from the ZX, the
World of Spectrum.
That's right, 8.28. Yep,
Yeah.
I'd say it's right on par.
Right.
In terms of eBay, $10 to $20 UK. They didn't have it. Of course, we don't get this here, so you're going to be ordering this from the UK if you want a tape of it. But to say I'm flabbergasted, if you'd asked me Sunday, it wouldn't have been the same review. It took a while. So yeah, whoever the committee did a good job.
Yeah.
Did a tremendous job.
I would like to thank the committee. Sounds like an Oscar speech, right? Isn't that what they? Oh no, they say the Academy, don't they?
Same thing.
Yeah. I would like to thank them all. Hasifa, Christopher Hassel, Graham Vebke, Paul Harrington, Chris Folds, and Pixels at Dawn for choosing the games that we play every week. They're Clive's Club members on Patreon. You guys have made this show tons and tons of fun for us because you're picking all the best stuff. And I know that there's tons more good stuff to be picked. So thank you guys. And I'd also like to thank all of our just Patreon supporters. All of our Graham Vebke, Frodo NL, Tapes from the Crypt, Pixels at Dawn, Chris Folds, Paul Bossman Harrington, and Christopher Hassel. Thanks, you guys. Thanks for your support. Next week, Aaron, we're going to be doing a shooter, our first shooter on this show.
Okay. All right, shooter.
Okay. Now, I want to tell you the name of this game.
Okay.
I did this wrong because I want you to forget that I just told you it was a shooter.
Okay.
Okay.
That's no problem.
And I want you to tell me what genre you think this game is.
Okay.
The name of this game is Morty Vicar.
Can you say it again without the accent?
No.
What do you mean no?
I have a hard time saying these words without an accent.
Did I hear Vicar?
Mm-hmm. Morty Vicar?
Like Morty?
No, not like Morty the Mole. I'm talking about More, M-O-R-E.
Oh, more like Morty Vicar?
Like Morty, Vicar.
That's a game?
Yes.
I would say it's some sort of one of those therapist games, like Eliza.
What?
No. Where you type in stuff. It's like, tell me how you feel, and you tell it, and it tells you what's wrong with you.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they were a big deal back in the DOS days.
Okay. Yeah. Well, no, this is a shooter.
A shooter? Derp. Who knew?
Right. So we'll be taking a look at that next week. If you enjoy our random nonsense, be sure and check out our other shows.
You're in luck.
Amigos Everything Amiga and ARG Presents. Guys, until next week, keep playing the Spectrum and
thank you.
Rewind tape.
And press play. Whoa.
All right.
Can I go?
Yeah.
I'm going to rewind tape and press P.
Oh.
You get that
it's
right there?
It's the razor sharp wit that keeps me coming back week after
and
week.
I gave that away.
You did.
I could have used that.
Well, it'll be on the stream. So.
What did you think about this game? I couldn't tell.
I liked it.
You only got to the level 2.
Well, I could see. This is one of those games where I don't have to be good at it to see the genius.
Well, guess what? I loved it. I wasn't blowing smoke. I thought it was great. I'm in. I'm a believer. Manic Miner. I've read about it for years.
What's going on, chat? Pack Billy?
I'll be right back.
Dr. Sabaitso? What is that? I'm going to have to wiki that. Or Google it. Or some verb. Sabai. Oh, okay. So this is like that thing Aaron was talking about. Don't go, Pixels. You're gonna miss Amigos. Well, I guess it is kind of late, so I don't mind if you actually do leave. You can always watch it later. But we're getting ready to do some hot and heavy Chuck Rock 2 Son of Chuck action. In fact, I should probably go ahead and switch our scene. Oh, I guess Chow can be both. I'm not much on the really any language. There's a lot of languages that have the same hi and bye. It seems to be a much more efficient way of going about things. Korean's not like that. Hawaiian.
Thank you, weight loss.
Thai is like that. Yeah, right, Amiga. Or Tin Mark. Yeah, man. You're rocking it.
Cool shirt.
Like a hurricane.
Do you have any idea what the hell it is?
Thanatos? Man, who doesn't know Thanatos? It's like a dude riding a dragon.
You don't know. You don't know a damn thing. You deserve to cough.
I forgot to...
Can I get in there?
Yeah, man.
Bodie McBoatface.
I know, I need to switch the video. I got so enraptured with watching...
We got a video? There's one for you.
Oh, what's that from? Oh, that's Manic Miner.
That's young ones.
Hold on a second. I gotta download a video.
Is the boss in the room?
No, unfortunately.
Man.
He's
He did me good there.
He's too busy working on the projects, making the world go round.
Chuck Rock, brother. Son of Chuck. Another game I didn't give the time of day.
I don't know why I didn't.
You done with this?
Boy, that looks really dark. I guess that's all right. We'll make it work. Here's a CRL group.
Did you play the CD32 version of this or the OCS ECS version?
The OCS ECS.
Good, excellent, because I played the other one, so we can compare and contrast.
Well, they're pretty similar.
They're exact, except for the music. It's all I can tell the difference on.
I hate when my
and the buttons.
Video downloading sites change on me.
Oh, man. 10-minute dropping the hammer. Dropping the hammer. Come on, we love everything. Until we don't. You know, so I haven't crushed a game for a while. I mean, this could be the one.
This could be the one. All right. People are still mocking you for your ZX ways, by the way.
Did I say ZX?
Like 1,600 times.
Look, what do you want? It's a Z here. I can't stop that. It's years of programming. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's just like when you're saying giant haystacks, you have to pronounce the H more emphatically than you would here.
Giant haystacks.
Right.
That's why
H stacks.
That's why Regal always calls Triple H. He calls him Triple H.
Right.
H.
Right.
It's hard. I'm working on it.
Sometimes it's hard to be American.
It is.
Giving all your love to just one man.
Wow. Those
Man,
I thought the Chuck Rockies are pretty big there, Pixel Vixen. You need to get you a go on them.
Are they really? I never heard of them.
Chuck Rocket, it got ported to everything. The first one and the second one got some ports.
So did Top Banana.
No, Top Banana got 0 ports. They unported that one. They actually took the code and burned it.
So, my normal YouTube downloaders are not. They've changed my go-to site.
Boy, you're setting yourself up today, 10-minute. You're begging for pain.
Mm-hmm. All right. I don't want to download it in the app. I want to download it. What's that button do? Insert a video. Yeah, I did that.
Okay, now I'm going to tell you how to do this. If this doesn't work, I'll tell you how to make it work.
Okay.
It's a trick.
Okay.
Okay, right-click on average quality. Hit Save As. I don't ever use this site. That's the way I do it. Nope. Okay, pull it down. I don't use this.
What do you site. Tell me what you use, and I'll use it.
It's the one you gave me, the first one you ever gave me.
Clip Converter is very slow now, though. So
it is. Not for me. It's not. No, that's not the one I use. Let me see if I can find that. I've got it bookmarked. I don't know what goes on in East Croydon Station.
You don't want to know what goes on over in East Croydon.
I sort of do now.
All right, we're gonna try this.
Let's see what I got here for you, Boat. Let's see here. Bookmarks. These are mobile bookmarks. Bookmarks. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't have it here. You're on your own.
That's all right. I got it. Go. Starting to get enraged.
We could do live action. Go get on a diaper. I'll get you a stick.
I got a lot to say about our intrepid hero. There we go. How was the coughing on an annoying scale of 1 to 10?
Hello, Chat. Stefano. Hola. I love it. The coughing came in loud and clear. I thought it was clear, crystal clear. Every cough, you could hear every little hack.
Good.
Well done.
As you can tell, we're not using the lav mics.
This is the hate mic. We love hate and hate everything else.
Did you watch that thing I posted about the story of the guy that made sea monkeys?
I saw it. I didn't get to read it. I was been gone all day.
Man, things take a dark turn.
Really?
Yeah, the guy that invented sea monkeys. Did you ever have sea monkeys when you were a kid?
I had them one time, and I was like, "This is crap."
I think that's everyone's.
I don't know what you're doing, but I would stop.
Well, it's either this or nothing.
I would discard that hit, or I don't know what that other. No, hit discard on that. Yeah, you don't want that. Yeah, weren't they shrimp? Is that what they were?
Yeah, they're brine shrimp.
Because the pictures over here, I'm sure some of y'all have seen this, but in the old days, I used to get a lot of comic books, and sea monkeys were heavily advertised, usually on the back cover.
That's right.
And it would show these little families, like how they lived in a house.
Playing badminton.
They were eating at a table, right. And the dad had on a tie. I'm like, man, this is going to be great. I'm going to basically lord over this family like a god.
Right.
And then you get these little things, and it's little microscopic filaments of crud. I guess they freeze-dried, and then they would swim around, and they would die pretty quick. Mm-hmm. And they had monkey food and stuff you're supposed to give them, and then that was it. I mean, they were so tiny.
Yeah.
They didn't sit around a table. I don't know if any of them had on a tie. They were so small, I couldn't tell.
The jury's still out on the tie.
And when I lorded over them like a god, they were totally
oblivious.
They didn't care.
They didn't bow down like in Populous or something.
Yeah, little tridents. That's right. They had that one.
Oh my gosh, this is insane.
2 minutes. You gotta have some, patience, Boat. All you need is patience.
Is that GNR?
Yeah, that's right. You got one.
Yeah.
Hey,
I get most of your music.
Let's talk about a new show I've been watching this week, and it was recommended to me. I think I first read about it on the Discord.
Okay.
It's called. Death, Love, and Robots.
Tell me about this show.
This is a Netflix show. It's a Netflix original show, but it's basically they just cobbled together like a bunch of really awesome 8 to 15 or 17-minute short animated films.
This is like an anthology series.
It is exactly an anthology series. Love, Death, and Robots. That's it, Pixels. I think maybe you're the one that posted it, brother. And this thing's the bomb, if I may bring that term back. I love Philip K. Dick. So Philip K. Dick's awesome. So if let's say you're watching now, Grant, I'll give you something here. Okay. They are violent often. So I'm not saying necessarily this is your bag,
right.
Boat. And there's some sexual content in some of them, not all of them, but they are very well done, and they're totally different. Some have computer animation, some have traditional animation, some have computer animation it's unusual. There's one that has mostly no animation. It's mostly just a couple people. But the great thing about them, it's the great thing I love about short features is if you're in one you don't like, first of all, I liked every single one, okay? And I hate everything. And secondly, they're calling this the new Black Mirror, and that's high praise. Secondly, if you don't like it, it's over in like 5 or 10 minutes tops, right. and then you're out of there. Now, I enjoyed the heck out of it. I crushed it when I couldn't move. I sat my incapacitated head on a pillow and aimed the chair at the screen and just sat there and just hit play and went through I watched them in 2 nights because that's a good thing about them is they're good little fillers when you have a few minutes you sit down and watch one. I highly recommend it. I love what they reminded me of. Is there was an old Japanese animation tape I had called Robot Carnival, which I loved. There was short features on robots. And then there was another thing, if you ever saw the Animatrix, which was a series of short animations set in the Matrix universe.
Yeah,
it's before the
Matrix
went down the toilet, so there was still hope. That was great. And this is along the same lines as that. So I recommend that if you haven't seen it. I thought it was really good.
Is it like Eon Flux?
It's better than that. Although Ian Flux, if you had taken that and cobbled into one short film, it would have fit into this batch pretty well.
Look at this. Look at all this stuff that they're making me do here. Stuff.
Yeah, just close all. You don't need that anymore. You've already downloaded the item. Yeah, don't ever use that one again.
Yeah, that's.
You don't have a pop-up blocker up there. That's
well,
one
you
thing.
have to disable it to get the thing to work.
Oh, I don't. Yeah, not the one I do. I'm gonna send that over when I get home, dude. Night Flight. How old are you, Lunch, my brother? Because that's old school. Night Flight. Did you ever watch Night Flight?
I don't even know what that is. Like Flight of the Navigator?
Back in the day where no one had cable, they had no MTV, right? Mm-hmm. And so Night Flight would show like videos. What? Yeah, I knew it. They would show crazy little movies. They would show clips of shows from overseas and stuff. Ooh.
Did you watch Friday Night Videos as well?
Friday Night Videos, yeah, I used to watch that. So yeah. We didn't have cable for the longest time, and so when you didn't get MTV, so the only way you could see videos is, although I believe Night Flight was actually on cable. Now I think about it, it's been so long, but I used to watch that. TBS had a thing, NBC had a thing. Several channels had these late night shows. USA had one.
Is this before or after Elvira would come on?
Elvira was only on Saturdays, and she was a local syndicated show. Not local to us, but I mean she would be on like a local station. She wasn't on cable. I used to watch Elvira, but I thought I didn't think she was that funny. Right. She was just a hot, smoking hot goth girl introduced, and the movies weren't that good generally, so I wasn't really my bag.
Right.
We had a thing called Chiller Theater, and Chiller Theater would play just monster movies or weird. Like I remember seeing The Gargoyle on there, for example.
You know what we ought to do sometime is because I'm sure some of these movies now.
Oh God, Dance Party USA. My buddy, I had two friends that worshipped that show. If you remember a chick on that show, she used to always dance in this tight red and white striped tube top. That was they loved that woman. You back from getting some water, boat?
I'll be back.
So yeah, now we're going down the road here. Do you guys remember what was his name? I think his name was Commander USA's Groovy Movies. That's another one I used to watch on there. Hey, listen, I'm a big Mystery Science Theater fan, and so I've seen plenty of those public domain movies by now. God bless them. So I understand. But yeah, so obviously, yeah. I don't think it's worth checking out, Edvin, unless you just happen to come across some Dance Party USA clips. But I guarantee you, if you go on YouTube and look that show up, she's going to come up. Big old hair, as was the style. And Dance Party USA was like the white guy's version of Soul Train, basically. It was like no Soul Train, basically. Now, that's a good question, Lunch. I have to say I love them both, but I think Mike is my preferred choice just because I think he got better films. Joel's experiment exchanges were way better, though. So I'll say Joel for the experiment exchanges and Mike for the actual films. Oh, my gosh. How old is Kelly Ripa? We're having a good old time here. These people are talking my language today. Old loser stayed at home. Hey, listen, I love Joel. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying, I think Mike had some better films than Joel did. I like Joel's, I liked his stuff in the studio better. Oh, boy. You know, the one that pops to mind instantly, Pixels, was the one where the farmers were attacking the mechs, or the mechs that were attacking those aliens that were coming after their crop. I like that one an awful lot. The one with the Russians was good. God, there were so many. And I know there were some I liked better than. I thought the one with the artist that jumped in the swim pool at the end was good. I thought that was unusual, you know. But like I said, really, I did not like any, to be completely honest with you. I thought they were all tremendous. Right up my alley. Zima Blue, yeah. Now, have you seen Robot Carnival, Pixels? I would recommend that if you haven't seen it. I thought it was really good. Egon was great. I love that movie, particularly the part where the chick is shaving Egon in the cave in front of her dad. That's nice and mind-bendingly disturbing. I thought that was pretty amusing. Also, watch out for snakes. I thought that was another good one. And if you haven't seen the Animatrix, Pixels, I recommend that too. Again, if you can shut off your brain and forget that the second and third Matrix movies came out, I would give that one a whirl. Ooh, Flimsy Flumpies. What a name. But yeah, the Matrix movies went off a cliff, and I really like the first one. Oh yeah, oh there you go. You can probably see what I'm doing there. Boat is now. Hey, Tyler Glenn, I just saw your post underneath one of our videos. We cover old games, brother. That's because we're old, man. You got to get into the old stuff. Embrace the old. You know, it's retro, man. Everyone's doing modern stuff, you know? And to be honest with you, I don't play that much modern stuff. This is the guy that we were talking about.
Oh, okay.
He rolled in. I'm glad to see you gave us a shot, man. Old is the new. That's about right. Hey, Wood, that sounds good to me, being old and all, as I am.
All right, you ready?
You sound like you are ready to rock and roll. Are you done with this?
No, man.
Oh,
The back is...
Oh, look at you. Good for you. Save that paper, brother. Any whackery I need to know about that we're going to attempt to pull off?
I'm kind of confused about how... Okay.
That happens to me a lot, too.
All right, so we're going to do mailbag at the top.
Uh-huh. And then we're going to do then we're going to do a full feedback section this time, yeah?
Right.
Okay, great on. I'm gonna just lightly touch on Dreamcatcher's last week that we missed, and then I'll go into a little bit more on this Amiga game sales charts database update.
Okay.
Okay, because this was actually great. What in God's name is that? Hold on a second, Boat, real quick. I want to make sure I know what I'm looking at here.
Well, it's like some kind of spam site.
Yeah.
Zoa, what are you doing in that?
That's what it came up when I looked at the...
That's some kind of Russian Google. You don't want any part of that.
Hey, listen.
Don't click on WSAZ links. That's rule
That's
one.
not... Well, no, you don't look over here and just assume you know what's going on. You have no idea. No, you're killing me here. Oh, God. Let me get back to the website and then we'll start it up. I'm glad I told them I was going to be late tonight. I knew. I was like, boy, this is going to be a long one here. Okay. And... let me get to this first. That's the one.
All right. You ready?
Ready's all over beach.
Okay. Here we go.
We'll just touch on this briefly.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Amigos. I'm John.
And I'm Aaron.
And today we're going to be talking about Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck. That is a unique sequel name if I've ever heard one.
I like it. Son of Chuck.
What are some other things that are like son of that you can recall from your days? I'm not.
That's a loaded question. Now you're messing with a son of a Chuck.
Let me rephrase that. What other films are there that are like son of? Like, is there like Son of Godzilla?
Yeah, and there's everyone has a son, right? Son of Zorro, son of Dracula. You know, they've got offspring. Usually, daughter of Dracula gets all the thing. Frankenstein has a son.
Really? How did that happen?
Listen, don't ask questions. There's a Miss Frankenstein. That's all you need to know.
Okay.
You know?
I would assume she'd be Mrs. Frankenstein.
I forgot you haven't
right?
seen Young Frankenstein.
No.
Because Frankenstein was endowed with an enormous...
Are you talking about Frankenstein the monster or Frankenstein the doctor?
The monster.
Oh.
But
in Young Frankenstein, the monster is called Frankenstein?
Well, they don't really call him the monster, basically.
I'm not sure about this movie. It doesn't seem like it's true to its, novel
It's
roots.
it's often regarded as one of the most faithful to the book.
Really?
That's what they say. So, yeah. What can you come up with that were seek sons? Let's see, what makes this clever is Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck, right? Because Chuck Rock 2 is the kid's name, you see? But it's also the sequel. It's a double. That's what makes it clever. No? You're not buying it?
No, I'm not buying it. We'll talk more about it later. Aaron, we got mailbag.
Oh, man. Double trouble mailbag. All right. Whoa.
This comes to us from merry old England. I can tell because we've got the Queen's profile there on the stamp. Okay.
Will that stick around after Brexit happens? Are there going to be big changes in the mail system?
That's a great question. I am not fully equipped to talk about the ramifications of Brexit.
No one is, apparently, from what I've read.
This comes to us from Chris Folds.
Putting on the Ritz.
And
this is from Folds.
Yeah, okay. We got 2 shirts.
Look at that. And a hand puppet.
Checking for our notes. Let's see. Let me look at the sizes right here.
I know what you're doing, Boat. What a punk.
Okay. And these are, these one of these is either going to be way too small on me or okay, so let's just look at the shirts.
Okay,
let's look at the shirts. This is
It's Mario.
Mario. All right. This one
You love Mario.
I do love Mario. He's my man. He's my jam and my bag. You know, and this brings me back to Captain Lou. You know, I used to get up every morning at like 5:30.
Yeah.
To watch the Super Mario Brothers Super
Show was horrible.
It was horrible, but I loved it.
No good.
It was Mario, and he was real.
It was insulting to the whole Nintendo Mario universe and the Marvel universe too. That's how bad it was.
Next,
I choked him up.
Next up, we've got. Oh, check this out. This is an Atari.
Ooh.
Shirt. The 1972.
It's got the Japanese down there too.
Yeah, I love it when it has the.
That's when I lose. That's when I lose 100 pounds. I'll slip right into that bad boy.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Chris.
Motivational.
I'll slip this on right now since we're doing an ST show. And
please send all your hate mail addressed to Boat O'Car.
Look at this. There we go.
Man, look at that. It fits you like it. Pull the sticker off there.
I like keeping it on. It's sort of it's a gangsta thing. You wouldn't understand. Yeah, I'm OG.
You are? You're goofy.
I don't leave the tag is a little itchy.
I was going to ask you.
That's not part of it.
Do you leave the hanger in? Is that what you do?
Kind of. Do you think that I might be able to
Are you kidding me? Not the ram again.
There we go.
We got to get you some knives for Christmas. My God.
The ram served me fine so far.
Good life.
All right. So, and you'll have to excuse me, folks. I'm deathly ill.
He's ham and egging in here, folks. It's all a charade.
Aaron, we didn't have any feedback last week, so we're going to jump right into this week's Amiga news.
So we're going to get started with a little site update action, Boatster.
Okay.
So I just want to touch on this real quick. We missed a Dreamcatcher. I don't know. This one slipped right through us. I think it was just happened to come up right the day we were recording. PL Gold. I just noticed this when I was getting this ready for the show, and this is in depth as hell. And I haven't read it yet. So
there used to be a show called Solid Gold.
There was.
Is that
I don't
related?
think there's an affiliation between the two. So I will come back next week after I've read that one. Another thing that the DK man did was Amiga Game Sales Charts Database Update. This is exactly what it says. What he says it is. This just popped up. DK's on top of it. And again, I want to also mention that if you are into Dreamcatcher stuff, and you should be because his stuff's always great, I would recommend checking out his video channel, which is outstanding. He puts up a bunch, and he's got a crazy style that is all his own, and it's always good stuff. So, again, DK stuff. Now, do we have any other updates on the site? I don't think we did.
What is this updated sales chart thing, real quick?
Have not looked at it.
Okay, well, let's look at that real quick, because I'm always interested in...
I know go up.
Okay.
Let's see where it says Amiga Game Sales Chart Database.
Oh, okay.
That's right.
This is the thing
This
were
is
trying
the
to look
Zoho
up.
thing.
Okay.
That's right.
Well, we'll have to report back on that later because neither of us have a Zoho account.
I haven't got a chance to see what it was. I've looked at. He did one of these before that I looked at, so clearly he's moved on to a bigger and better thing. And again, his channel. Have you ever watched any of his stuff? His recent stuff?
I haven't seen much of it lately. I know that he's a great man behind the mic.
He is, and he's a value. We really like his stuff. What do you got news-wise, bud? You want to talk about videos now?
News-wise, we are going to go right to what we did last week on your show, ARG Presents, Aaron.
Last week's show was an interesting show. In fact, I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't sure. This was a recommended show. I can't remember if it was a Duncan Styles or it was Pixels. One of the two of them, I think, recommended this as a pie piece, which was games that were solely mouse games, both. And being an Amigo, I had to represent, and I picked an Amiga game, the ultimate mouse computer console.
Boy, the action's real hot and heavy here.
Listen,
This looks great.
See you bad-mouthing my pick? I picked Shuttle Puck Cafe. I'd heard a lot about this game, and I had never really given it a shot, and I really enjoyed it. Now, it's not perfect. It doesn't have any two-player support, which I think would have been a lot of fun, and I think there were some options they could have opened up that would have made this game even better. But it's still a lot of fun if you like playing this sort of game, this sort of like air hockey. It's very colorful, crazy characters. I liked it. I liked it quite a bit, and Brent was down with it too. Brent's pick was Mario and Wario for the Super Famicom, and I'd never even heard of this game. Bo, have you heard of this game?
I've not heard. What, Shuffle Puck Cafe?
No, Mario and Wario.
No, this has got to be the only Mario game that I've never heard of.
This is a Mario game that's mouse based. All right, it's a Super Famicom. It didn't get released in the States, despite the fact that it's fully in English. So I mean, it was ready, and it was even.
So it must be a horrible game. Then,
it was even previewed. It's actually quite a bit. It has a lot in common with Lemmings, in a way. Except remember a game we covered a while back called Sleepwalker, where you were that dog protecting that kid that was sleepwalking.
Yeah.
This game is sort of similar to that. In this game, Wario drops a barrel or an eggshell or something on Mario's head, and you're a fairy. And you have to go around and protect Mario from getting killed.
Okay.
And if he's going in the wrong direction, you whack him in the head with your wand.
So it's a lot like Sleepwalker then.
It's like if Sleepwalker Lemmings had a kid. It's got all the Nintendo stuff you would expect. The characters, the sound stuff, and the levels are pretty interesting, but it's not easy, but it's fun. I enjoyed it a lot more than Brent. Brent didn't have much time for it, I have to say. And one thing that made Brent mad is like the usual Mario tropes. Like, for example, in Mario, when you pick up a star, what happens? You're indestructible. Not in this. In this, it's like a collectible. It's a lot like the red coins in Mario, where you have to get 4 or 5 of them, and then you completed the collection.
Right.
That's what they are in this.
There's a series of games on the Game Boy Advance, the Mario versus Donkey Kong games. I don't know if you played any of those.
I heard, this has been compared to that.
It's a similar sort of thing, for sure.
Yeah, but this, I think I'm surprised this didn't get a release in the States. I'm guessing since it didn't do well in Japan, and the mouse
Which
wasn't
is funny
a huge
because you
deal
said
here.
it only sold like 800,000 or something like that. Could you imagine what Amiga developers would think if they only sold 800,000 copies of their games?
Yeah, what I was comparing that to was the amount of people that bought Mario Paint, because that was the mouse. So it was mouse versus mouse, and this sold, I think it was less than half, and that was a sign they were like, "Man, this ain't gonna fly." So it didn't fly. So we had a good time this weekend. Coming up on this week's show, we're gonna be looking at games from the 80s. On MS-DOS.
Ooh.
So if you're into MS-DOS, we looked at the 90s several months ago, and this week I think this will be a fun episode too. Brent picked the goofiest, most ludicrous thing you could possibly have, and so I've tried to be a little more mainstream with my choice.
What's time, Aaron? Guess who's just pulled up to the station? The Gamble Train. It's time for this week's Amiga News.
What do you got for us, Bo?
This week, not too much news.
Okay.
Not too much news. But we got, I did want to check in with our buddies, our friends, producing great Amiga-based content out there on the internet. First up is our buddy 10 Mark, the 10-minute Amiga Retrocast. He is doing a tutorial on the Amiga Vision. Are you familiar with the Amiga Vision?
Only through reputation and magazine stuff, basically.
So if you are curious about what the Amiga Vision can do for you in your life, it looks like it is... What was that other program that somebody wanted us to look at on the show? It was like Amiga Vision. It was like a PowerPoint type thing.
It was something that we weren't good. I tried to put together a demo with that, and unlike...
Scala, that's what it was.
Yeah, unlike the 10-minute Amiga pocket, like I can't. He's got skills to pay the bills. This stuff not my bag.
That's why we're glad that the 10 Mark exists, because he has skills in all our deficiencies.
Yeah. I like watching this stuff demonstrated. I don't necessarily need to go out and do it. Right. You know what I mean?
Now this is probably the biggest story of the week.
Yeah.
The Amiga Power album, the Kickstarter has launched.
Yeah, okay. As of the recording of this, and I will say I've been in contact with the fellow behind this, Matthew, and a real super duper nice guy. I've heard some of the tracks off of it. It's gonna be awesome. I told him I don't think he's gonna have any trouble hitting the target. But if you are into Amiga, and this is basically remixed awesome Amiga tunes, if you're into that stuff with the added twist that the Amiga Power magazine is involved, a lot of the former staff and stuff. I think this is pretty much a no-brainer.
It's done very, very well right out of the gate. Almost $6,700 raised for a $20,000 goal.
Yeah, so. I've heard some of this. I got to hear some of the remixes, and I listen. You know me, I love the stuff, and I like remixes too. And I'm on board. So I'll be backing this myself.
What was the name of the programmer for Manic Miner? Wasn't his name Matthew Smith too?
Yeah, same guy.
I'm not saying it's the same guy. I've never seen them both together.
It's a pretty common name. But yeah, I endorse it.
And finally, our buddy Lofarius of the Amigorama podcast is back with a new episode this week. This is episode 74 for him, Fantasy World Dizzy.
Yeah.
We have done no Dizzy games in the history of this podcast.
We have played them. We have played, was it, what was the
Treasure
Island Dizzy, and it was hard.
Yes.
We were not good at it, that game.
Yes.
Dizzy's is going to be back in the mix, I'd say, at some point in the future, because he's too big a deal.
Right. So if you can't wait for us to cover it, go over and check out Amigorama.
I will say this: if you haven't seen our ZX Spectrum show where we talk about Manic Miner, after playing that game, I think I can play any hard game ever made.
That's right.
I'm emboldened.
It's given you new courage.
It has.
To take on the world.
Yeah.
And I guess we should mention, because we don't normally mention it, we do have a sister show called Our Sinclair. If you'd like another podcast, we do it on a weekly basis covering one ZX Spectrum game a week. Check it out if you want.
It's awesome. I'm into it now. I love it. It's quickly working its way up the ranks.
All right, Aaron. It's time to go on to this week's game.
All right.
Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck.
Now, let's talk about Chuck Rock. Now, I believe, Boat, if I'm not mistaken, did we not? Is this one of the games? I know we played one of the two games on the Amigathon at some point. Did we play this one or the first one?
We played, I want to say we played the second one.
Okay, this was the second one. So, Chuck Rock, Son of Chuck is a sequel to the highly successful Chuck Rock. Chuck Rock 2 was released in '94 and was developed by Core. I mean, they've done it all. Let's just go over a few of their titles. We've covered several. They did Action Fighter. They did Banshee, which we've covered. I believe they did Blast Star. I think we had a look at that one, too. Blob. They did Dynamite Ducks. I mean, my kid loves that game. Impossible. Jaguar XJ220, which I believe we've looked at. I think we do an Amigos Planet, or do we actually do that one as a look? I know we've played it. The Monty Python game. Rick Dangerous 1 and 2, Switchblade, and Thunderhawk, just to name a few.
Now, were they also the same core that did Tomb Raider?
They did. They did. That's the exact same bunch.
Say that game bigger than any of those games you just mentioned.
Well, but have you ever played Tomb Raider on the Amiga? I think not. Well, so I don't list the stuff. Hey,
might be a late
you're
release.
right. You might be playing it here, so the way things are going. So this game came out, and this is kind of strange, and I asked around about this, and I'm not 100% sure, but I think I know what's going on. So this was released as a disc-based OCS ECS version, and then there was a CD32 version. Now, what struck me as odd was I didn't see an AGA version, and I think what they did was they took the ECS OCS version and just basically ported it directly to the CD32.
The music is different.
The music is different. I played the CD32 version, and you told me you played the other version.
Yeah, the CD32 version also has the, I think it has the animated intro.
It does.
Yeah. So they took that from the Mega CD, and then they took the music for the CD32 version is unique, though. None of the other versions have that music.
And it's unusual. And we can talk about that here in a minute. Apparently the guy who did it was a guy named Martin Iveson. I could be wrong. That's what they've got listed here under the CD32 version. So what is... I should mention, this got converted. As Boat mentioned, this was on the Sega Mega CD / Sega CD. It was on the Game Gear, the Master System. I'd like to see that. Have you played this on the Master System? You have?
Yes.
We'll get into that then. And it's a sequel to Chuck Rock. So what are you doing this? This is just straight up old school style platformer game. You play, your dad has been, I like the backstory to this. Chuck Rock, since the last game, has gotten into the automotive industry. And basically he carves cars. And he angered his one of his adversaries who kidnapped him. And so it's time for Chuck Rock 2, Son of Chuck, to go save his daddy.
Right.
All right. So Chuck Rock Jr. or Chuck Rock 2 is a little baby.
Is that his actual name?
Chuck Rock 2.
Do they call him anything in the docs that you saw?
I didn't read the docs for this one. This is no docs required. Just jump in.
I didn't know if his name was like Sully.
I'm gonna guess his name was Chuck Rock 2, since that's the name of the game, like we talked about.
Okay.
So you are a baby armed with a club. That's all you need. I would say he is Bonk-like in a way. Or maybe I think this came out. Let's see, this is '94. This would have came out after BC Kid. Right?
Yeah, Bonk was on its 4th iteration by the time this.
So it was pretty well trodden ground, Boat.
Well, not to mention the whole fact of caveman games was a well worn path as well.
I don't like where this is going. So this is a side scrolling game, and when you play the little Chuck, you're going through various stages. I mean, it's a standard fare now. The difference is you're in caveman times. Chuck can bash guys with his stick,
his club.
Yeah, he can also kind of come down and whack them, and he can also has this gimmick, which admittedly I didn't use much. Maybe at some point later on in the game you use it more, but he can sort of climb up on it. I saw one area where this became necessary, but I never used it that much.
It's mainly like a cheap way to get out of the path of enemies.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. So these games, each level has a kind of a unique level name, and it has sort of a different look. I didn't find the levels to be too long. I thought it was the levels were not too difficult. He will come across, all sorts of critters, mostly and some of these critters I don't understand exactly. Like there'll be guys in suits. Dinosaurs will come up. He can whack them. Some things you have to whack a couple times to kill them. Some things will fly down. It's pretty much none of this stuff is anything that would blow your mind, just by mentioning of it. There's destructible ground you can walk over. There's lots of pits with spikes in them that'll kill you. Which probably most of the time I died because of that. And you navigate Chuck Jr. through these levels. Now, just right out of the gate, since I'm guessing you weren't super familiar with this game, your thought of the presentation, the plot, the character, the graphics in general.
Poor. That's the word I'll use. The caveman game has never been my favorite archetype.
Now, you liked BC Kid, didn't you?
No.
Oh, I thought you liked it.
Not particularly.
Okay.
So BC Kid is probably the most charming of all the cavemen. Unfortunately, also in that milieu, we have our friend Kid Vicious.
We both agree that we hate him.
Right, Kid Chaos.
Kid Chaos.
We have the caveman in Ugg, which I guess he was okay.
Not to the people that listen to the show, he wasn't.
That's true.
They killed that game.
Most people hate Ugg except for us. In this game, when you want to do a baby, you can go one of two routes. You can go like ultra realistic baby, like real cute, or you can do like sort of exaggerated man child, kind of like Baby Mario, So the way I see it is you got your baby Herman. You're familiar with Baby Herman?
Yep.
Okay. You got that trope. Or you can just do like the little kid, like the Muppet Baby sort of thing.
Okay.
This game does neither. This game manages to craft a kid in a diaper who has the face of the ugliest grown man you've ever seen in your life. There is nothing remotely likable about this character. He is truly horrible, and it turned me off of the game almost immediately. That said, this game controls fine. I was playing it with emulator, so I was able to jump with the button, as most people that grew up with color TV and electricity do. And the level design was not bad. I mean, it was firmly on the level of any sort of middle of the road platformer that you'd find on any console. One aspect of this game, and really the best aspect of it, is I loved the music. Now, it's unfortunate that you didn't get to hear the real music because you played the CD32 version, which had different music.
I liked it. Actually, I liked it quite a bit.
The Amiga version and the Genesis version and the Mega CD version have this, it sounds kind of like raga, as Nigel Tufnell would say, reggae.
Yeah.
Maybe the CD32 version had that. Maybe it was the Mega CD.
That's what it sounded. I mean, it was sort of like jazzy.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay, so maybe I'm wrong. Well, that's good. I'm glad you got to experience that.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed that a lot.
It's at first I thought, man, this is really odd music, but for whatever reason, for me, it seemed to set the tone. It made the game seem more unusual, which is good.
Right. I don't know if this was just coming after 45 minutes of playing nothing but Manic Minor, and that had something to do with the fact that
I played this first.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay. But I love this music, and the music actually does change. I played up until the first boss, the first big boss of this game.
Oh, I got way further than you.
But I used a level. I used the cheat that was in the WHD version to skip ahead and play a little bit of the later levels. And I'd say probably every 5 or 6 levels, the music changes. The music's all good. It's all good.
I agree with that.
So it's really kind of a mixed bag. The character utterly repulsive. The rest of the game, it's okay. Real missed opportunity on the standing on the club. It would have been great if once he's on the club, you could use the
pogo stick.
Yeah, pogo stick, like
I agree.
DuckTales.
I thought the same exact thing.
Or even just to jump up to places where you couldn't normally reach, something like that. It's kind of a sort of a lame duck, command that you've wasted there. But I thought that the bosses were neat. They use some different kind of, it's not real scaling, sprite scaling, like you see like a bird, he'll appear in the distance and then he'll go off and then he'll appear bigger and bigger. I thought that those parts were really cool. It wasn't really until I started playing the other versions that I realized just how lacking the Amiga version was. The Genesis version is the exact same game, except they spent a lot of time making the animation better. The baby bottles that you pick up, the liquid flows around in them. The sound is the same, but it's different because the Genesis has that wacky FM synthesizer chip, which makes everything sound like wow. And it was neat. But again, this is just another example of these late Amiga releases like Aladdin, where you could tell that they spent the majority of their time working on the console release and not the Amiga release.
I thought Aladdin was pretty good on the Amiga.
Oh, it was, but it looked so much better on the Genesis.
Well, it's funny. I actually like this game a lot more than you.
Okay.
I had played, again, this is a game I'd played a lot more Chuck Rock 1. But when this came out, I was like, "What is this? This isn't Chuck Rock. This is a whole different game." I didn't give it a chance, to be honest with you. So when I came back to it, I was ready to go. Actually, I think Chuck Jr. is a perfectly serviceable character. I don't think he's that bad. He's a baby caveman. He's not supposed to be cute. He's a freaking caveman.
Well, so was Kid Vicious.
He wasn't a baby.
Well, he was a caveman.
He was a young caveman. This guy, it looks fine. I think. He's supposed to be mean looking. BC Kid wasn't good looking either. He was weird looking. His head would explode. He ate too many peppers and stuff. I can't help but compare this to BC Kid because they got a lot in common. Graphically, I think this is an outstanding game. Lots of cool background scaling and scrolling. Awesome water effects. The first couple of boss battles I thought were a lot of fun. I got past the boss that killed you. I thought he was pretty simple, so it must not have been too hard. And I like the sound. I thought the baby bottles that give you energy were spread apart pretty nicely. I like the fact that the levels weren't that long. It made you could get through a level, and I felt like I was accomplishing more.
Yeah, I think that you think that I don't like this game less than I do, because I agree with everything that you're saying.
Well, yeah, but I think the kids. I don't think the kid's that bad.
Oh, okay.
I thought the graphics were good.
Look at him lumber along. He looks like freaking Lionheart.
He's a caveman. Don't go. He's a caveman. It has light puzzle elements. It's got bonus rounds. It's got some clever level design. We've played a lot of Amiga scrolling games like this that the level design was crap.
Yeah.
I didn't think this was cheap. Now, did they have spikes coming out? The usual tropes are there, but they're handled well. There are levels where you have to climb. Well, I'll tell you my favorite level, which I don't know if you saw it, was the level where you're in like the water area. I got to the third boss. But there's a level where it's almost like a water park where you go into these logs. They're filled with water. It's water effects everywhere, and there's waterfalls and stuff. And there's dinosaurs spitting water at you. And then a couple parts to get across to get across jagged rocks, you have to run on like a wave of water. I like that. I thought that was really cool. Now, Junior doesn't have the personality of BC Kid. I think BC Kid was aided a lot by like the ability to eat the food and or bite your way up stuff.
He emoted a lot more.
You know, plus he's got a club. This guy's got a club, and BC Kid just basically like headbutted. It was
just all teeth.
But this game really actually sort of surprised me. Again, the music it's an odd choice, but it separates the game musically from most other games I've played. I thought it was colorful. I thought the enemies were fun. There's elements where you ride creatures, which is interesting. Now, the funny thing is, the first time I rode something, which was, I don't like there are places where you ride ants and stuff across like rocks and stuff, but I'm talking that you could actually control the creature. I lost him pretty early, and then for the rest of the level, you're pretty much boned. So you better have a lot of health to get past this thing because you're going to get.
You're meant to be on that guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And so if you lose him, there were elements of this that you mentioned Lionheart in a jerky way, but there were elements of this that reminded me of some of the level design of Lionheart.
And I will say this game is much like if Lionheart would have had this art style, then I would have liked it so much more because it's not that sort of creepy organic browns and purples. This is a lot more greens and pinks, and it just I could handle a Lionheart set in this universe.
Well,
sure.
I think Lionheart's is better and more interesting to look at, but I think this has its merits too. It's just I thought it was a fun, and I like a good sort of a comedic game like this. It's fun. It's lighthearted. You know, I mean, your dad, for God's sakes, your dad carves cars out of rocks.
That part is amusing.
I think that's funny. It had a full kind of intro, which I thought was cool. It lets you know the story, you know. That's why another reason I didn't read the manual. I saw the story. I used up for jump, the traditional style, and it worked fine. I didn't have any trouble at all. I thought the controls were solid, to be completely honest with you. I didn't have any trouble. There's a water level. Sometimes like sharks come out and try to bite you, you know, stuff like that. I dug it. And I got really nothing bad to say. I was surprised because another game that I thought I would murder, but I'm not going to do it.
You know, in the world of Amiga platformers, it is slim pickings.
I don't agree with that either. I think there's plenty of good ones out there.
Well, I disagree. This is one of the better ones, for sure. This is one that I would sit down and play again. This is one I would put right up there with any console release.
Clearly, since it was released on consoles, and now did you say you tried some of the other consoles?
Yeah, so
Let's
I tried
talk about those.
You know, Graham highly recommended the Master System version, which is it's a different game. The levels are different.
Right.
The action is a little bit more. It's kind of a faster game. There's less time where you're just kind of walking across an expanse without anything happening. But it's mostly the same. It holds up well. I'm not as wild about it as Graham was, but it's another option out there. The Genesis version, like I said, if you can only play one version, the Genesis version I think is the version to get.
Now, is it the CD version?
No, not the Mega CD version.
Is it? Did you try that one?
I didn't try that one because it wasn't on my Forgotten Worlds build. But I'd like to try it because that does give you the full motion cartoon at the beginning and stuff like that. I think about this game. This is sort of a different game than the original Chuck Rock, and there are elements of Chuck Rock. Chuck Rock has a great the bit with the band at the beginning. I love it. I like the musical tune they play in there. I thought that was funny. So it gets the edge there. But I think I prefer this one. I think Core really went in and learned a lot and tweaked it and did a good job. I mean, I was surprised how much I liked it. This is my favorite game of this sort on the Amiga. No, but it's an excellent game. And we always talk about, would this be worthy, games that the Amiga community think are great, if they're worthy to play on like a console, would they have done well? I think I can see why this one got released. I mean, it stands up pretty nicely. It gets a lot of console games of the time. So there you go. Now, again, we discussed that this was released on 2 platforms on the Amiga. So I went ahead just for kicks and scored and got reviews for both. I'll just run through them quickly. So on the CD32 version, which I played, Lemon gave this a 7.84, and
Amiga Computing gave it 71. Amiga Format 79. Amiga Power 64. CU Amiga 84.
You know, I wonder since this is 94. I wonder how much platformer fatigue was starting to set
and
in.
those are all from 94. Now the ECS version on Lemon scores a 7.77, and I looked up scores for it as well. Now it actually did better score from magazine reviews. Amiga actually gave it a 90. Amiga Computing gave it an 89. Amiga Format gave it an 81. Amiga Magazine gave it 7.5 out of 10. And Amiga Power reviewed it in April 93 and gave it an 83. I'm guessing since it released slightly, sure, this is that water level I was telling you about. I guess it's it released a little earlier than the CD32 version, that maybe they were being feeling a little more lenient or more impressed.
Yeah.
Again,
when they saw the CD32 version and how little had been done, that probably is why it scored the way it did.
Yeah. You know, I've got a Game Gear. I may have to pick this up and see how it plays on there, too. That'd be kind of an interesting thing to see. But, you know, overall, I dug it, man. eBay. I did look this up on eBay. So, again, there were none in the U.S. I found boxed versions in the UK, $8, $16. Those would be the OCS, ECS version. I found the discs only for $12, and then for the CD32 version, $32, $30. Those are both out of Germany, so you're gonna pay a little bit more for the CD32.
That's par for the course, really.
Honestly, I would probably go for the box.
Yeah,
go for the box.
Yeah,
because you get a cool box
right.
for starters, and you're probably not gonna, unless you just have a CD32. You'll probably get more enjoyment because there's gonna be more stuff in it, you know.
Right.
And you've got the box, so that's the way I look at it. But overall, hey, I got nothing to complain about, man. I dug it. I thought it was a good game.
Aaron, I wanted to talk. I missed doing this last week. Last week we got some new Patreon supporters.
Oh, sweet.
And I always like to identify the new supporters when they sign on for the first time. And it was funny because they all kind of came one after the other right there on the show. They were watching the show live, and they're like, "I'm doing it."
Awesome.
And so I'd just like to give a shout out to Craig McClellan, Lobsterminator, our Lone Finn.
I saw him on Discord just today.
Just today.
Yep.
And Andy Jones.
Andy Jones.
Yeah. So welcome, guys. Thank you for becoming Patreon supporters. Last week's Patreon song challenge, Aaron. It was really, I was worried at the beginning because this is one of those songs that I thought, well, is this even though these guys are British, is it going to be a song that only Americans knew? Because there's a lot of bands that were from England but not big over there. You know, they came over here and struck it rich, riding the British invasion wave. But it didn't turn out to be that way at all, because we got some folks. So anyway, the song "I'm Henry VIII, I Am."
I knew it.
by Herman's Hermits.
Hermits,
right? Yeah. Terry Howard first to chime in. Figgy CTZ, Herman's Hermits, huge in Sweden. Andrea Hucker down there in New Zealand, and good old Pack Billy.
No, so you're saying Herman's Hermits weren't big in the UK?
That was what I was thinking, because at first there was nobody writing in.
I thought they were pretty big.
Yeah, I didn't know.
The lead singer for Herman's Hermits did the very memorable tune from Naked Gun. Something tells me I'm into something good. Remember that song?
Yeah.
And they're going across the beach, and they clothesline that guy, and they come out laughing. They just saw Platoon. That's all.
I love Herman's Hermits. That was one of the LPs my parents had, and I used to spin that thing all day long.
I believe that. I can see that's your speed right there, Bo.
Yeah. So Pack Billy writes in with this little bit of trivia too. He says this was actually written by Fred Hall and R.P. Weston in 1910.
Oh man!
And made famous by music hall star Harry Champion. What a name!
That is. How can you fail with that name?
So he says everyone who guesses Herman's Hermits is technically citing a cover version.
Oh man, who was it that wrote you in?
This is Pack Billy.
He took you to school.
He did. Peter Noon, the lead singer. I should have known that. So this week I had planned on regaling you with an awesome, one of my most epic Patreon songs ever, but as you can probably tell by my constant hacking, I am a little under the weather.
You hear that siren? You hear that? That's the cop out.
Oh, I like that one. I'm going to use that one with the kids. So instead, I'm going to do this. It's going to be a challenge. This is going to come from a movie. So you got to think about a movie
Okay.
where beat poetry was being read.
I don't think I saw that one.
Okay.
You know? Off to a good start.
So here we go. Andy Jones, Lobsterminator. Craig McClellan, 10-minute Amiga Retrocast, counting virtual sheep. Bernard Quinn, Retro Man Cave. Tim Drew Dale Williams, Simon Rose Joseph Harrison, Kyle Ed Rob O'Hara. Unfortunately, that's the end of like the little bit from the movie.
So now what are you gonna do? Just start over?
So now we'll do a little bit of I guess I'll just read them.
You didn't really think this one through, did you, Boat?
I didn't.
You poor sick bum.
I was supposed to be on my way to San Diego.
Oh man. Oh, poor Boat.
Howard Nibbs, the man. You want to go back to the funky facts? You can always do that. That was a huge hit. You love giving the funky facts.
I don't know if I got it in me.
Okay. Matthew Larimore, Andy
I know
Craig.
he's no good. I can tell you that right now. I know him personally.
Andy Craig, Shanzo.
I love that.
Yep. Darren Lomax. Remember the Dr. Seuss, the Lomax?
Yeah, Dr. Seuss scared me as a kid. I'm not into Dr. Seuss.
I never felt comfortable with him.
No, it's freaky, man.
Colin 419. That's when you don't inhale. You're almost there.
Is that what it is? I thought that's when he was born.
Barkbit.
We discussed that one.
Yeah. You know, it's funny. He was like, I can't understand why people don't know that it's just like a bit of bark.
Mm-hmm.
But what he doesn't understand is that bark, or maybe he doesn't understand this, is that bark is like onomatopoeia for like a dog sound in English, because I'm quite sure it's not.
Well, I think like, you know,
so like a little bit of a dog bark, or like bit in the past tense.
See, that's
like
not the way I think about it.
How do you
like, you know, like BC Kid will grab stuff with his teeth and go like, rah, rah. That's what I think is him biting a tree.
Yeah,
that's what I think of.
Right,
you know?
right.
So that's in my mind. This guy looks like BC Kid.
Yeah,
bald, big head, biting stuff.
It's superimpose your own picture upon what you think Barkbit looks like.
You should send in drawings of what you think these people look like. That'd be great. We'll piss everybody off with that.
Roland Burke, our boy Rolly, the smartest man.
You know, I used to see a wrestling guy. This guy was named Roland Hard, the food stamp champ. And he'd come out to the Fat Albert theme, and he's a big fat white guy with a big afro. He'd come out. He passed on.
You think Bill Cosby gave permission for that?
I doubt it. No, I don't think so.
Andrew Monks.
The monk.
Mm-hmm. Joe the zombie. He's still restoring that house from like 1910 out there in the wilderness.
Yeah. Good luck, pal.
John Cook, the podcaster, the retro bookmobile.
I love the name of that.
Dan Ross.
We know him.
Yes, we do know him. Leaf Kellon, who
a Viking name,
practices under an alias on YouTube. I won't reveal his name.
You're not gonna out him here.
Alan Kebab, my favorite British food.
Yeah, what? Alan on the stick.
That's right. You got your Checote.
Is that the way you pronounce that?
Checote.
What's that mean?
It means like
What language is that?
That's probably I would say it's probably Kote is like a wrist reversal. It's like an Aikido term, I think.
So he's some sort of maneuver.
Yeah.
What a maneuver.
Yeah, right. Who said that?
As Gorilla would say, or
yeah,
Vince.
Gorilla, right. Level Lord, the Lord of the Level.
Which is not what I was in any of these games this week.
John Marshall.
We know him.
Local boy made good.
Yeah.
Matthew Perron from up there.
You're gonna do your noise.
Oh
man, you're gonna be a lot of hosers down here whooping your hind.
They love it. I
hate that noise.
Ricky DeRocher from up there in the Mass.
That sounds like that name fits right up there. Yeah.
That might not even be where he's from. But
Richard
I think Massachusetts is DeRocher when you got a DeRocher. Like Leo DeRocher.
Yeah.
I think he managed the Brooklyn Dodgers.
How old are you? My God. They've been out of Brooklyn for decades.
What?
Like 100 years.
That's why they call them the New York Football Giants. You got to differentiate between the two. Let's see. We got Creepy Dead Boy.
Enough said.
Star software developer out there in the Bay Area.
It's creepy.
Yeah, making millions. Figgy CTZ, Animator Supreme.
Figgy.
Some call him the Reanimator.
That's what's that mean? Does that mean he copies other people's animations? Or he only writes dead stuff?
I don't write the nicknames.
Have you seen Reanimator?
No.
I didn't think so.
No. Even just looking at that at Video Vault scared the crap out of me.
You should watch it. It's a good family film.
Yeah, I bet. The slow Norris.
Slow.
Out there in the
I always think of Eric Clapton when I hear his name.
yeah,
Slow
you want
hand.
a man with the slow Norris.
Yeah. Is that true?
It's-
I don't know I don't know if I like
My
that.
roommate in college was named Tim Norris.
I see.
So I always
Was he
pictured
slow?
him. He was not fast.
There you go.
Stefan Sorgard Mortensen. This guy, you know what I think about Stefan Sorgard Mortensen? What do you
Salt?
Morton Salt.
I
That's
think
right.
I think he's got a cool name.
I think that he's constantly carrying that umbrella.
You know,
and just with the
I
salt
made
on
up
it.
an alias to be cool, right? On the line. The Devil Bunny. Here
Yeah.
he comes, right?
Yeah.
Because nothing sounds cooler than that, right? There are people in the world that just were born with handle type names.
That's true.
Like
That's true.
in America, no one has a cool name.
They were born for the internet.
No.
Edvin Helland.
It's another good one.
Yeah, he's small but mighty. He'll knock you out.
Yeah. You got a V in there.
Yeah, yeah.
What do we got?
We don't have any V's, that's for sure. Blendo 75
A cryptic name.
up there in the northern panhandle of West Virginia.
Yeah. Cryptic on that.
Yeah.
Blendo.
Mm-hmm. Christopher Hassel.
He'll hassle you.
He will, unless he's sending us awesome stuff
Yeah.
from Australia, like the SNES Classic. Ravi Abbott.
I know him. I think I just saw him DJing the other day.
He's always spinning up there. He's doing.
I wish I could do that.
Sometimes I just do that.
I've got that
I feel
DJ
like
Hero. Now, no one bought that but me. I kind of liked it, you know.
I feel like you could go out to the arcade and you could put yourself a little stream together.
You know, I just ordered a mirror ball off the arcade.
Ooh.
And I just hooked up all the rock band stuff out there, too. So there will be some live rock band action.
We're gonna have a time.
I'm going
out
to take
there.
requests, man.
Yeah.
That'll be
yeah.
awesome. I will sing all the classics. ABBA, you know, Susie and the Banshees.
The whole, everything anybody wants to know. Let's see. Chris Foltz.
The omnipresent man of a million things. He's everywhere.
He is the giver of fine t-shirts.
That's true.
Let's see here. Dreamcatcher. Dreamcatcher.
Talented, amazing, nonstop workaholic.
He's a Renaissance man.
He is.
Laurent Giroux, the conscience of the Amigos. Graham Bebke.
The booze provider.
That's right. Official stalker.
And our good buddy from way down there.
That's right.
The whole family.
Lane. What rhymes with Lane? There's not much that rhymes with
Shirley
Lane.
MacLaine.
The Shirley MacLaine Benson. We were just talking about her, right?
She's nuts.
From Beetlejuice.
Shirley MacLaine was in that?
Wasn't she the mom?
No. What? No. God, no. That was Catherine O'Hara.
Okay.
Oh, wait, the mom. No, Catherine O'Hara was the chick that moved in.
Right.
The mom was, what's her broad? You know, the chick from the pirate movie, the chick from Thelma and Louise. What's her name?
I always thought it was Shirley MacLaine.
No, Shirley MacLaine's old, dude.
Was she the Partridge Family?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I know that.
Wow, you're way out there.
Okay. Adam Battersby. Good man.
The bad. What do you got for that? He's somebody's sucking around a bee.
I always get him and Adam Bradley mixed up, so I'm always afraid to say something because it will be the other guy.
They may be the same man.
They might be. O'Brien's Retro and Vintage.
Gina Davis. Thank you, Henrik. That's who I was talking about.
She's the mom, or she's Alan.
She is not the mom.
She's
Catherine
the-
O'Hara is the mom. She is the ghost with the Baldwin guy.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
Shirley MacLaine not involved.
Gary Hucker,
The Huck.
the hardware expert
Yeah,
of the Amigos.
Mm-hmm.
C. Brian Jones.
Where?
Well, he's dead. He died in a pool.
Really? I thought he
Yeah.
was at sea.
No, but his spirit lives on as our supporter. Paul Harrington, boss man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he runs.
Boss man. I keep thinking of nails when he says
There's only so many tech companies over there in Sweden,
Uh-huh.
and they just erected a picture of his face on the skyscraper where he works.
Really?
Yeah.
I bet Sweden has a ton of tech companies.
Do you think so?
I would bet they do. I bet they have a crap load up there.
Well,
They're an intelligent people up
they
there.
are. They are. Duncan Styles, the Dunk.
The Dunk.
Alan Kebab. Oh man, I put Alan Kebab's name on here twice. It took
You must have been hungry.
Yeah. Anthony Jarvis.
The Jarv.
Tapes from the Crypt.
We haven't heard from Tates for a while.
Well, it's because he gave up the social media for Lent this year.
Oh, for the whole year?
No, for Lent. Lent's 40 days.
You said, oh, okay.
So for Lent this year, he gave up.
Oh, man, I think he mentioned that, didn't he? Oh,
yeah,
man.
he'll be back soon.
Good luck, Tapes.
He'll be back. Josh Nan. I like Nan bread. Are you familiar with that?
No, I've never heard of that.
It's an Indian bread. It's cooked in a tandoori oven. It's very, very good.
What's a tandoori oven?
It's like a circular oven.
Sounds like a G.I. Joe bad guy.
Tandoori oven.
Run, it's tandoori. I'll get you, Joe.
You got to make the dough and you throw it on the side and it spreads out.
You physically toss it in there?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, sounds good.
I think I might have put... No, this is... I almost did it again.
Alan Kebab.
Yeah, Adam Bradley. Adam Bradley.
Listen, Brett, get on him. Get on him.
Jonas Rulo.
We love Jonas.
We do. Purveyor of fine magnets.
Living the dream. Living
Hawaii.
the dream out there.
THT.
It's got to be a drug reference. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Eric Nelson.
Yep, we know him.
Oh, yeah. Kim Tommy Humbertstein. Another fine name.
You're right.
Yeah. Daniel Bingston. Probably also Swedish.
Why do you say that?
Bingston.
That's a Swedish name?
Anytime you get like an ENG in there, there's
Yeah.
no English names that have that.
If you're not from, what did you say, Sweden? He'll let us know.
Yeah. Brutal Barracuda.
The brutal one.
Yeah.
Master of the really cool Amigos challenge videos.
Absolutely.
And also those top 100 videos. He was great at those. Also his own channel, very good. I recommend that too. Go check him out.
Darren Coles.
Old man Cole.
Yeah.
Is he old?
Merry Old Soul.
Is he old?
How can you be young with a name like Darren Coles?
I don't know. Also, I guess if you're young, you're not listening to this show.
That's true. Jason warns.
What's he about? What?
Well, he warns you that unless you want to see some awesome Amiga action, stay away from the site that he created from scratch, everythingamiga.com.
Hey, wait a minute.
You got to unpack that one.
Oh, I got it. Well, that was complicated.
And Pixels at Dawn, Amigos Game Selection Committee Chairman, Faux Life, newest member of the Brain Trust. And finally,
The name.
Kjolbjorn Barman.
Very good. That's quite a list, Boat.
Boy, it is.
There's an extra hour to the show. How many people are like, screw this?
I was gonna say we were running short, so I'm glad that my voice went out.
This is all part of your fun. Hey, I've got two special announcements or shout outs.
Okay.
We are now this is January for 3 months into the Amigo Aaron weight loss wager, and let's just say I'm starting to save my money, but in case I have to pay off on some of this wager. But I will say that despite 3 months of not fun at the Hoser house, I'm still I'm not too far down. I'm working on it. So if you're still interested in taking our wager, we got a link on the on our main page, everythingamiga.com. Hop on over, hop on board. All the money goes straight to a fine charity. But tell them what the charity is.
Children's Miracle Network.
Correct them into. Secondly, in case you noticed this week, look at this. All right, all your bickering, all your bad mouthery, all your insultorium has gotten me to get a new pair of glasses. So now I can read like a champ. You can see from back here. So no more of this. No more of that. It's
we
over.
All appreciate
and
that.
I will say that I was annoyed, irritated, unamused with the continual pain and anguish that I received from people telling me that I was going blind. And now I can see, and it's great. So I owe you guys a debt of gratitude for pushing me to go get the glasses.
The chat has exploded with your brother saying Terry's very proud. Terry's
one. She was the leader of the pack, but I heard it over and over.
Yep.
And I know when I know, but I was blind.
Sometimes you have to have an intervention, and that's what.
Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. TLC was here. They filmed it. Look for it in about 6 months.
Oh man. Good Lord. Anyway, thank you. I got nothing.
All right. Well, next week, Aaron, we're going to shift gears completely. It's starting to get warmer outside. The sun, the surf, the waves, all the fine features of living in West Virginia.
The waves.
Oh yeah, the
wave
surf,
pool,
the sand.
Yeah.
We're going to be playing midwinter. So just as soon as we drag ourselves out of our winter coma, we get drugged back in.
What do you know about midwinter, Bo?
I can only assume that it's based on the classic British Christmas carol, In the Bleak Midwinter.
That doesn't.
In which you play as Joseph trying to find room at the inn.
It didn't work out for him, did it?
It did not.
Oh,
it did
man.
not.
Well, what the hell? We'll give it a shot.
We will. We will. So, guys, until then, keep playing the Amiga. We'll see you next time.
And press play. I just screwed with you. Come on, 1, 2, 3. Adios. I knew. Come on.
But did you see how I didn't get upset?
I know. I can't believe you just clothesline.
Well, what I've discovered is I no longer do any editing whatsoever on these shows.
Good.
So, yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever edit them?
Yes. There were several things that I'd always take out.
Yes, because you were being super mean.
Yeah.
That one time you physically beat me.
That's true. I had to edit that out.
Damn.
I didn't want to be arrested.
Well, I mean, somebody's recorded it. See, he got it. Hey, Midwinter, is this any good? Oh, see, cool. DeRocher likes it. Yeah. Yeah, Edwin, hop on board the Weight Loss Express, brother. It's the only way I could fit into this shirt, I can tell you that.
Yeah.
This wouldn't have fit in the old days. As a zero. Hey, the good thing is you gain a new wardrobe when you do it. The bad news is you lose your current wardrobe. Although that might not be the worst thing in my case.
You can always, make like a big quilt out of your old T-shirts.
I didn't get to read. It's hard for me to read chat when it goes by. It looks a lot better, Duncan. Did you guys, were you down with the Chuck 2 or not? Did you guys like Chuck 2? Anybody want to toss in real quick on what you thought? I didn't get to go, because I couldn't tell. Did you like it? I couldn't even tell. I mean, you were pretty blasé about it.
I would say it's a solid 7. Solid 7. Now, for Amiga platformers as a genre, it's a 10.
Oh, you are too hard on the Amiga platformer scene.
I am not
We've come across some real good ones. I think you're too rough. I think if we went back and looked at them, listen, Brent, you don't count.
It's like the people that grew up with the real platformers, like me and Brent. It's like hearing you old guys. It's like, oh, the motor cars. I'm sticking with my penny farthing. It's like you never got a chance to experience.
What does that mean? I was growing up right with you.
No, you weren't. You were growing up with Jumpman. There's no way you could properly review a game like Chuck Rock.
Well, let me tell you something. I'll be damned if I'm going to sit here and let you badmouth Jumpman. And you like that game too, you liar. You played that on the Atari. Don't give me that. Jumpman Jr. I love Jumpman. It was great. I will say, when we were playing Manic Miner, that was like if you could see the influence of Miner 2049er in it. But, I mean, I'd love to talk to this guy. Mm-hmm. And just ask him, how long did it take? He's got 20 levels. He must have fevered over these levels, because you can't design a game like that unless you're some kind of mutant.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Well, it's funny because Retro Man Cave was saying he's going to make his first public
appearance.
appearance.
gets it.
He's going to make his first public appearance in forever at the Manchester Play Expo here at the end of May. So if anybody's going, Pixels, I know that... Excuse me while I die. Pixels, I know that you go to that event, don't you? You can ask him. That would be awesome.
I can't remember. Did you go over user reviews for Chuck Rock?
Oh shoot, no, I didn't. Okay, we do have to put that in.
So much for your non-editing thing.
Yeah.
We're going back live. Quick, everyone, get back in your seats.
Yeah, Pixel Vixen, I will send you another Discord link. It's only good for 24 hours, so I'll send you another one. And the reason why your name didn't get read is because it's only for the $4 a month people, the truly elite.
Yeah, but get in the Discord,
yeah,
Pixel. That'd be awesome.
We want you in there.
All right, do it.
All right, here we go. All right, Aaron, we got some Discord reviews.
Awesome, Boat. Let's hear them.
Graham Vebke says, the sequel plays better than the original, still up for jump, and has better level design. Not really a fan of the baby protagonist, though. The graphics look worse than the original. Perhaps they were reused from the console version, which landed first. But it's a decent platformer. 6.5 out of 10. Chris Fold says, looks nice, irritating music, pointless collectibles, forgettable attempt at a mascot character, average controls with up for jump. That's right, it's another Amiga platformer, and not one I will come back to. 6 out of 10. Folds gets it.
Come on, Folds.
Leaf Killand. A very well done platformer for the Amiga.
Mm-hmm.
Good graphics and great design. A
Yes.
wonderful soundtrack, tight controls, and memorable levels and bosses. I was playing this throughout my childhood, but never finished it. I really like it. 8 out of 10.
See, I'm agreeing with him. I agree.
Pixels at Dawn says, decent platformer with great graphics and music, plus some top enemy boss and world design.
Yep.
Sadly, the core gameplay loop is just too slow and repetitive when not riding animals to hold attention for too long. 6.5 out of 10. And finally, Matthew Perron says, this is a charming platformer with great graphics, simple mechanics, and funky tune, though not very suiting the Stone Age theme. I don't know. We don't know what kind of music they had back in Stone Age times.
Yeah, they do. Have you ever seen Caveman?
Oh, yeah, I guess we do know.
Mm-hmm.
Like many platformers on the Amiga, playing it on an emulator gives you a button for jump instead of the classic up, which gives it more decent controls. I will come back to it sometime for sure. 7 out of 10. So thanks, guys. Thanks for those Discord reviews. And as always, anybody that's a part of our Discord community can leave us a user review for this week's game, and we'll read it live on the air. Bam.
Nice smooth work. Nice smooth work there, man. You ready to go? Just roll over and die, bro. You poor bum. This poor guy's had a rough week, y'all. He missed his vacation. You're gonna have a vacation, but just chilling.
Yeah.
Are you still taking the time off work?
Oh yeah. We'll still. It's spring break, so I'm gonna be off.
Oh, that's right.
So
what a gimmick that is for you guys.
Oh yeah.
My God.
Yeah. What are you gonna be doing with Luke when he's home for?
He's going to be going to camp a couple of days for at the Clay Center.
Okay.
For robotics one day and game programming and design one day. And he was going to go to a third day, but they canceled it for lack of interest, which was going to be animals. They said Putnam County did not want to. They canceled 2 days at the camp because Putnam County wasn't interested. So that's a bummer. But still, he'll have a good time. Plus, he'll do other movies and all the fun stuff, play with people. He'll have a good time.
Yeah.
I'll just work.
Brent, all my vacations almost kill me. If they don't, then it's not a real
This one
vacation.
pre-killed him.
Yeah, this one jumped up on me before I left.
This what have we learned, Boat? Any non-Amiga related vacation you can't do.
That's right.
So next time, schedule your crap accordingly, dude.
Yeah. All right, guys, we're out. Thanks for. Oh, and I didn't thank you guys. Thank you all. I missed everything. I'm awful.
Great turnout today, y'all. Thanks for showing up, and keep the good games coming.
You know what?
I love it.
I'll put it in. And we'd like to thank our people here in the chat. As you all know, we record the show most Fridays at 5:30 Eastern. This week we started a little later, but not too bad.
Traffic.
I'd like to thank Pixels at Dawn, Night and Staff, Pixel Vixen, Edvin Helen, Bark Bit, Error 42, Ricky DeRocher, Pack Billy, Duncan Styles, Necronom, 10-Minute Amiga Retrocast, anybody that was involved in the chat, Terry Howard,
Retro Man Cave
Night
was
and
in.
Staff. Yeah, thank you guys, Paul Harrington. Thank you all so much for being part of the show live. I know it's a lot of fun to hang out in the chat. Please join us. We'd appreciate it.
Man, you're going to be chunking and schmunking this whole bad boy together. Come on, let's do some more segments. Let's make this show 6 hours long.
Let's bring back the hardware review.
All right. It's Miller time.
See you guys.
Goodbye, everybody.